welcome to Talk of the Tavern. A little about us, we're your at-home interactive weekly geek con, all blended with wit, sarcasm, and a pub-like atmosphere. We're adults talking about adult topics and using adult language. We laugh and make jokes about almost everything. We don't intend to upset, but some folks have their feelings hurt easily. This is all done in humor in the style of the great offenders such as George Carlin, Red Fox, Lenny Bruce, Richard Pryor, Robin Williams, Wanda Sykes, Sam Kinison, George Lopez, Lisa Lampanelli, Chris Rock, and others. So grab your vice of choice, sit back, relax, and get ready to enjoy yourself in the company of great people, hot toddies, and guests alike, because here we come.
Put that long day behind you, good times lie ahead. With company worth keeping, that'll bash a smile on your head. Come on in, the door's open, you'll find just the finest folks here. Pull up a chair, grab a drink, and lend our stories your ear. Cause we're the talk of the tavern. Here you're always welcome. The talk of the tavern. Promising beer and bed love. The talk of the tavern. Music, medicine, and some. The talk of the tavern. The song's over. Here we come.
I'm totally muted. They couldn't just shout, "You're muted." They're pointing at their ears as I'm doing technical stuff. Okay, to abbreviate, welcome to Thursday VIP. Great guest, Andrea Vices. There we go. Now who's muted?
See, it's contagious.
It's going
Okay,
around.
I have coffee, and I have my teacup for some tea in a little while.
Which teacup is it?
It's the one with the ship on it because my other one broke.
Oh, well, that's very massive.
I need a new teacup,
We'll get you a mustache.
but I have
You brought out your axe.
my lollipop weapons and some giant candy and a flower because fairies. Yay!
There's a lot of vices today.
It is.
Let me move on over to Tara Moeller, editor, author, and awesome. What's your vices today?
Real sugar Pepsi
Smart choice.
and chocolate.
Was that Almond Joy?
Yeah.
I like Almond Joy. I'm just saying, I like it.
Nuts.
Oh, the things you say, woman. And then last but not least, it's been a long time since we've had this guest on, and I am so excited to have her back. And by the way, if you know her and you're here to support her, then tell her to come back more often, because she's just a delight. Karen Kay, the fairy lady of Fae magazine, publisher and editor. What's your vices today?
Oh, today it'll be my golden gnome.
Are you going to eat
My
it?
lucky golden gnome. No, I'm not going to eat it. Don't listen to them.
Oh, I have all kinds
Okay.
of garden gnomes.
I've got quite a few, but the golden one's here, and also my golden unicorn for luck and magic,
Nice.
and my fairy wand that I take everywhere with me.
Very
Mostly.
nice. Now,
Sometimes.
before we move towards
Yay.
anything else, is there anything I missed in your intro that you'd like people to know about you? You know, what you do and that kind of thing. Because I only mentioned
well-
Fae magazine, so I know you do events too.
Yeah, I
Hi,
do.
Mo.
I do fairy events, and I do fairy balls, and I've got the Three Wishes Fairy Festival, which is the biggest event that I do organise with my partner Michael, and that is coming up next month on the 15th to the 17th of June. So we're working on that at the moment, and it's going to be really exciting. And I've got some exclusive news that I'm not going to share now, but I will share soon.
Later, we want to let more people pile in. And
Yeah.
then we'll tell it when you're ready. So, that's it. Oh, and
Don't let me forget.
we won't. quick. We better make a note because we'll forget, won't we? Hold on, fairy news. Okay. Now, as for me, I'm Travis Sivart. I'm the host, and today I am partaking of Dunhill 965 as the type of tobacco, and I had a little left in that one, so I'm going to finish this poker, and then I'm going to go to my church warden because I feel it's more appropriate for the fairy show, which is why I dress like this also. And of course, I have no pants on, so this is just all you get to see. So, yeah, I know. I felt it was fairy-like. Oh, and Jameson's. I am having a wee nip of Irish whiskey along with it. So let's do an opening toast. Here's to the magical things you can't see, but you can believe in them if you want to.
Hear, hear.
You're here?
Cheers.
And actually, I'm curious if I could start it out with a question for Karen there. So you actually, and I mean no disrespect, so don't let it sound wrong, but you believe in fairies the way others believe in angels or ghosts or UFOs. Is that correct?
In the brief answer is yes, but I also say that I don't believe in them because belief implies that there could be a disbelief, if that makes sense. But I know they exist.
Okay.
Which might make me sound even more bonkers than I already do, but I know they exist.
Not necessarily. It's there's a lot of unexplained things that we haven't explained with science, and the reason I mention those other things in the same breath is not to give any shade to your knowledge and your experiences, but rather to compare, because some people are just, I know ghosts exist, but they would never consider fairies or angels, and other people definitely believe in angels, but they would think this other stuff is, to me, it's kind of all in the same realm. It might even be the same thing with different experiences, just a different word for the same thing.
Not for me, because I think, well, a ghost would be the energy of a being that had existed in a physical form and no longer exists in a physical form. An angel would be something more celestial, a worker for God, or whatever you want to say, the highest spiritual force, the source. And fairies are guardians of the earth. So for me, they're all very different, but they are connected the same way that we're all connected. Right. Every living thing is connected. That is my belief. Yeah.
Now, Tara, I'm curious about you. Where do you stand on fairies? And not literally.
Yeah, I don't stand on them at all. Well, I believe in ghosts. I believe in angels. And I certainly do not disbelieve in fairies. I think there's a whole lot we don't know in this world. I know my grandmother believed in all three. And she was a very wise woman before she passed. So,
see, I'm had
pretty,
I don't want to interrupt.
There's things that the newer generations just don't even consider being that. I think the older generation, we've lost a lot of the knowledge of what our older generations knew because we don't listen to them anymore.
That's because they just blah blah. Then I won't shut up. Oh wait, we're the older generation now. Damn it. It's see, I've had experiences where I've invited fairies into my home, and then over a series of weeks, all kinds of things happen or break till eventually I'm like, you want to know what? Out. You're not allowed within 10 feet of the house, but the rest of the yard all yours. And then the things stop. So I can't throw an electromagnetic reader up and go, oh yeah, that was fairies. All I can say is things changed, and then they changed again. So can't reproduce it in a lab, but something happened. So.
Yeah, if you invite fairies in, first of all, I'm very surprised that they actually went again when you asked them to go, because that's the one thing that I haven't been able to work out for many years. Once you open that fairy door, I don't know how to close it. I haven't been able to.
When I raise my cats, they after a year old, they follow me around, they come lay on me, they meet me at the door, etc., etc. But that first year, I am very firm with them whenever it needs to happen. You know, like when you're sleeping and they leap on your toe because you just turned over. Needs a little firmness to that cat. And that's how I was with the fairies. I just laid it down and I checked up on them every day whenever I saw things getting a bit reactive or screwy. And I want to read a few comments here out of the thing and also get Andrea's opinion on this in a minute too, because I don't want to not include her just because I know her so well. But yeah, it was basically being firm and going behind myself, going, nope, you heard what I told you a week ago. And, you know, then of course you try to give them a treat, you know, outdoors and let them know they're still welcome. But yeah, just don't go messing up my stuff. I have a hard enough time with my electronics anyway. I do not need their help. So, Andrea, did you want to throw an opinion in, or shall I read some of the... Andrea? Oh.
Internet's, I know. Okay. I'm on mute. My internet's crazy and I'm trying to do social media, so.
Okay, I'll read
Fairies,
comments.
yay, I have wings. Continue.
Yay. They're lovely wings. Let's see, Mo said, Great Graham's ghost still believes in ghosts, angels, and fairies. I was about to ask, what about now? You know, just because they're dead. And Talking Toey says, my wise old woman response to fairies, ghosts, etc. is, get off my lawn. It's a fair response.
Yeah.
But I figured I'd just see where we all kind of stand on these things. It's, no matter how scientific I want to be, I can't shut down the possibility of things I don't know about yet. Or because I can't reproduce it at will, I can't say it totally doesn't exist. I have to leave that door open for more. And I think that's a downfall of human nature. When you close the door and the possibility of being wrong and learning more and something else being out there that you didn't know about, I think you stop living a little bit.
Yeah, because we only close the door in our own minds. Mm-hmm. That doesn't mean that it's a fact.
Correct.
You know, we use these labels, but actually nobody really knows for sure. And I never feel the personal need to try and convince anybody of the existence of fairies. That's my personal truth that I'm very comfortable with. It's very, very real for me, so I don't doubt it, but I don't feel like I have to try and convince anybody else to have that same belief. It is a bit sad when people are like, nope, and they have this kind of vision. It's sad in the sense that they're missing out, because fairies can be fun. You know, they've got an edge. Everything has an edge, and fairies do have an edge that many people talk about. But there's also a lighter side to fairies as well, that is fizzy and fun, and it's always unexpected. And yeah, it's cool. That's why I've been working with them for so many years. I love it, and they've literally taken over my life.
In 2 weeks, we have a Monday show coming up called Energy, Positive and Negative, because it's a favorite topic of mine, and it ties into ghost, fairies, etc., basically the unseen or the unknown. Because I am scientific-based in my nature and whatnot, but I do want their possibility to be more. And the reason I mentioned ghosts earlier in relation to fairies is I have seen people who claim to have a ghost problem, but it's a silly, mischievous type of spirit. And after our last show, it's why I first considered maybe some of these ghosts people are experiencing are fairies instead of ghosts. When you have something running around just making little noises, nothing harmful, or fritzing out your electronics, maybe it's not a ghost. Maybe it's something else. But they know ghosts. Fairies are children's stories and nothing more. So, yeah.
Where did they come from, though? Where, you know, most of us were brought up on fairy tales, on fairy stories. So where did that come from? A lot of these stories stem from old wives' tales, right, and wisdom, actually, that has been discarded or forgotten. But some people bring it through to now. I've retained that sense of magic and wonder, and I'll use the word belief, but the knowing of fairies. and I think they could be confused with ghost in the sense of what you're saying, that you know, the little mischievous things that happen, maybe things being hidden, and actually they're both qualities of ghosts and fairies, because ghosts have been known to actually physically move things,
right?
And so have fairies. So it's really hard to say. I mean, I certainly couldn't say what it was.
Maybe they have
and
a
again,
bar.
it's a label.
Maybe they have a bar and they go hang out together and just like trade off chores. You
Yeah,
go
probably.
move the keys today.
Yeah.
I'm going to knock on the wall. We'll switch tomorrow.
Yeah, now that I can believe. Definitely.
Why not? Especially if it is, scientifically speaking, if they're an energy-based form, there is a possibility they could interact with other energy-based forms as opposed to matter-based.
Exactly. Yeah, as we do.
Mm-hmm.
We do that, don't we? We interact with each other, and we interact with different energy forms, whether they're animals or physical or not physical. We all have the option to do that. So yeah, why not? For me, in my world, anything is possible. Anything.
So Tara, you got anything on this? I know you're a thinker.
Well, one of the ways people decide whether something is real or not is if different cultures at different times express the same things. And while in, say, Great Britain and in America, the Western, the truly more Western civilizations, you know, we call it fairies. But if you look into the folklore of in Asia, in Africa, they all have similar energy-based beings, and they have that folklore, and they talk about them. And if we look at those cultures developing so very differently, different times, without a whole lot of overlap, they all have them. And if they all have them, they're kind of supporting each other in that belief that there is something there, whether it's called a fairy or something else. So I think, you know, you can't just say, no, it's, you know, Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, they don't exist. That's not what we're talking about necessarily. So, but there's something there, because if you have all of these different cultures in their histories and in their folklore having them, there's got to be something there.
Very true. By the way, I want to interrupt real quick and say, Jeanette, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Do you know Jeanette Macklin? She's in the UK with you there, Karen, and she gets around to a lot of the festivals and whatnot, a lot of steampunk ones especially.
Oh, possibly by sight. I'm really bad with names, but I'm great with faces.
So, Jeanette, if you...
Hi, Jeanette.
Yeah, if you know Karen, just let her know you know her, and then next time you see each other, you'll be like, oh, right, okay, I know now. It's and then who also joined us? Devlo, or Develo, joined us, and it's been a while. I'm not calling you out. You don't have to answer or say anything, but it's been a while since I've seen your name, so glad to see you pop in. Thanks for joining us. It's there you go. I called out the person who's creeping, but only because I like him, I think. Anyhow, Andrea, you interrupt, because of your internet, I'm not going to keep calling on you, but you just throw your opinion in and interrupt when your internet allows you to. It's I'd be delighted. Well, I've talked to Tara, and I have written together quite a bit, written as in books and whatnot. And we have one concept we're working on that involves a lot of the supernatural type arena stuff. Right now, yeah, Andrea, the links are smushed together. Again, they're going to need a space in between them or something.
I've done spaces. I've done enter with periods. I'll just do them individually. Okay. I'll just have to do that.
But yeah, I've discussed, I would love the possibility, and I'll get to your dad joke in a minute. I would love the possibility of more of either the stuff we're talking about, or even Bigfoot or Loch Ness Monster, or any of that. Now, I will go with the basis of, until it can be scientifically proven, I cannot say it in fact exists. But I mentioned that show in 2 weeks with the energy positive and negative. Here's what I will tell you. if you believe in something without proof, it changes your perception of how you see and interact with the world. So if you see everything as negative and bad luck, that's what your mind focuses on and pulls out of your environment, thus into your life. And the same with the positive energy. So if you're, whether it's believing in good luck or fairies or whatever, your mind will pick out things that can be exactly that. So for you, it is influencing your world and your life. So all I'm saying is, it can't be a bad thing to believe in it, especially if it's positive.
It's not bad for me at all.
Absolutely.
It's really good for me. I feel like
stories.
Every day... Oh, stories.
Yeah, finish your thought, but then we'd like to hear a few interactions you've had with fairies.
Okay, well, first of all, every day that I wake up, I expect the unexpected, and there's a kind of constant fizzy background feeling, like pretty much all of the time.
Like that static from a storm right before it gets to you?
A little bit, but a nicer, that feeling can be a little bit, not uncomfortable, but a little bit of tension in there. But the feeling I'm referring to is more kind of light and bubbly, and I often refer to it as like champagne bubbles, like that fizzy feeling. That's the energy and the feeling that I get with
the smell of popcorn
fairies.
Right before you walk into the theater.
Oh, it's funny you say that, because I've just finished recording an album, a fairy album, with my partner Michael, and it's called Through the Fairy Portal, and we go off every now and again for little walks in the woodland or wherever, and we record kind of, very basic little videos, and he does all of his technical effects, like speeds it up, and we did some filming a few weeks ago, and the place where all the bluebells were out, they've gone now, but there's a time of year when they all come out, and we were there filming, and suddenly I got the strongest smell of toffee apples. Do you have toffee apples?
Oh yes.
Yeah. Now I haven't had a toffee apple for like years and years, probably since I was a little girl at a fun fair.
Mm-hmm.
But the smell of toffee apples was so strong, and I just knew that was the scent or the fragrance of the fairies. I just had a feeling that that's what it was. And I said to Michael, "Can you smell that?" And he said, "No, I can't smell anything." But it wouldn't go away. And I know sometimes people say that you can get spirit smells, like often I'll get lavender, and that is, I always associate that with my grandmother. And people say they smell roses or whatever it is, but toffee apples is such a specific thing, and it really did. I just knew it was fairies, and I thought, okay, I'll note that. And then it happened again, like about a week later, and so it's almost like their calling card, which is very nice, and it makes a lot of sense as well, because fairies are said to like sweet things.
Oh yes.
So toffee apples, I can live with that.
Now that's interesting. If you hadn't smelled it in association with them before, it could mean somebody new is in the neighborhood, or there's a certain event going on that might be cyclical, so it only happens, not that it was eclipsing that day, but during an eclipse or the blue moon or whatever thing was going on at that moment. So yeah, there's a possibility, sure.
Yeah, there was nothing in the area. I mean, we were right in the middle of the woods. There was nothing. And if Michael had smelt it too, then it could have been like, I don't know, it was wafting on the breeze from somewhere else. But it was only me. So it's almost like that smell was specifically for me. And I'm very intuitive, on the sense that I work intuitively. If I feel something, I trust my gut instinct on things before my mind comes in and tries to analyze it and work out what it is. I go with my gut instinct and what I feel. And the first thing I thought was, that is fairies. That's the fairies letting me know that they're around. And of course, I was singing about the fairies at the time, so it kind of it made sense, and it sits right in me. But can I prove it? Nope. But do I need to? Nope.
No, not at all. So I want to ask a little bit about types of fairies, because we have so many from myth and legend that might be the same ones but different regions and different names. Or so, Karen, in your experience, in your knowledge, tell us a little bit about the types of fairies that you feel, no, I'm confident this is one, and they're called by these different names in different areas.
Yeah, okay. Well, the ones that I'm really connecting with at the moment...
No. Oh, can I interrupt?
Now, obviously... Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's out in my garden area in front of my house. I have gnomes, but I don't get the regular gnomes. I like the regular ones, but I have one. He's like sitting on a mushroom, and he's got a laptop, but instead of the Apple symbol, it's got a mushroom with a bite out of it on it. And I have another one that has a sign that says "Go away," and I have another one dressed in a Hawaiian shirt that says it's got a sign that says it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
I have one.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gnome. He's sitting in meditation pose.
Mm-hmm.
I've got that one too. I've got that one, and I've also got... First of all, before I carry on, when I say gnomes and I show a picture of a gnome, I don't mean I believe in,
right.
But the actual beings that are gnomes. But first of all, I've got the meditating gnome, and I've also got a Dr. Spock gnome.
Oh, nice.
As well. Yeah, it's really good. I think he's doing his symbol, which I won't try and do because I'm really rubbish at that. But that's it. Live long and prosper, I think it says on him. And I've got the little gnome on a computer too. I like unusual type of gnomes.
Same.
In fact, a little bit of knowledge, random fact about gnomes. Do you know Bill Oddie of The Goodies? Do you remember a program called The Goodies?
No.
If you don't know, this could get really embarrassing. I'm not going to sing the theme tune. It's okay. But it's a comedy program in the UK, and this guy, Bill Oddie, was one of the 3 goodies, which were 3 guys that used to do a lot of tomfoolery and things like this. I can't even remember when the program was going out. It was quite a while ago. But he is a ornithologist, I think, a bird expert.
It was in the 80s, and I'm going to post a link in the chat.
Yay! Well, he actually collects gnomes, and he sent me some pictures of his gnomes in his garden. He's got one of the biggest collections of gnomes.
Oh, nice.
But I don't say where it is. It's a secret location, but he's really into gnomes.
We have a few comments. Mo says we have Teddy the gnome, and then says to Talal, Difdor. I don't know what that last word is. It looks like gibberish. Did you mistype, or Diftor Dan Sumasa? Sumasa?
It's probably in Vulcan if it's from Mo.
Oh,
I was going to say, yeah, that's Vulcan.
There we go. Gotcha. And then Talking Toey says, I remember the goodies. Tim Brooke Taylor, Graham Garden.
Yes.
And by the way, Toey is another wonderful streamer. Andrea, if you could do a shout out for her, please. Tara, Toey, Mo, and myself all worked together on a card game that we came up with, as well as various writing projects.
What Mo typed means live long and prosper in Vulcan. I used the Google.
Oh, wow. I love it. I love that.
Okay.
I love that.
Go on.
I was just going to, if I could just, our gnome Teddy, Mo is my child, just so, Karen, so you know.
Yes.
He's named Teddy after my grandfather, who had the beard, and he would wear, and when he passed, we bought the gnome, and we put him in our blueberry bushes because my grandmother would make blueberry pie for him. So I think sometimes there's connections that we make that fairies understand, and that they help you to keep those connections.
Yeah.
Our belief opens the conduit of energy.
Yes.
Oh, we lost Andrea. Andrea! It's probably an internet. Give her a second. She'll be right back with us.
Let's summon her.
Let me grab my gnome.
So with gnomes, the energy of the gnomes as beings are, for me, very specific and very grounded creatures, very rooted creatures. Hello, you're back. Yay! I've got that. Yay. yeah, they're very. I work with them a lot recently, especially. I feel their energy comes around a lot, and it is a very grounded energy. A lot of people associate fairies with being airy fairy and la la la, but gnomes are super grounded, very practical, very earthly beings. And energetically, I perceive them as, obviously they're close to the earth, but they also kind of gather around trees and near roots of trees as well. And I don't know exactly what's going on there. Maybe some kind of symbiotic thing where they're protecting the trees, the tree roots are protecting them. I don't know, but that's what I pick up on an energetic level from gnomes.
Perhaps with that storm we had here, I should go put out a treat for the gnomes, because the trees that fell, I'm happy that they're gone. They're too close to the house. They're too large. They're too old. So I'm not upset that they were uprooted. So perhaps the gnomes, me having been here a few years, went, you know what? Let's help them out. We've got the opportunity here. Yeah. Let's take one down for them. And now, if those gnomes know anybody with a chainsaw, call me. Because I've got to do something with that tree before it becomes.
I would not let a gnome loose with a chainsaw in my backyard. Not that I've got a backyard.
I want to use
that for them.
They can watch.
If anybody near us that knows us has a chainsaw and needs firewood, let us know.
Yeah, lots of free firewood.
I think sometimes trees do sacrifice themselves, and I think also if you've been putting this thought out, those trees, you need them to go. I mean, I love trees, so I don't ever want to cut a tree down, but sometimes they do give themselves up, and if nature happens and knocks them down, then it happens. And maybe the gnomes were giving a little push to help.
One just came up. Now, like I said, 2 were snapped off just 20 feet up. But the other one, roots and all, and it didn't seem to ever, it was a very flat root network as opposed to a deep root network. You could see the 1 or 2 deep ones still going into the ground, and they're as thick as my upper arm. I mean, they're just, but yeah, it's, who's to say that, because I do appreciate my land. I won't say I commune with it any more than I commune with my cats. I interact with it, and give it the respect, and I don't expect us to be on the same level, whether it's the cats or the yard. But I do enjoy maintaining and taking care of it and grooming it, and I keep it very plain, not a lot of bonus stuff thrown into it. It's let it do its thing and just keep it neat. So why not? It's
well, I let my garden. Sorry to interrupt. My garden does its thing, but I don't keep it neat. Whoopsie! I'm really bad.
Me neither. I throw seeds and let it go.
Yeah, and I look at it and I go, "Oh, it's a bunch of weeds," and she's like, It's my garden. I'm like, oh, okay, and that's okay. It's how you keep your place is delightful for me when I visit those places, because it's not something I would do. It's different, and I appreciate that. And then you could come to my place and appreciate mine if it's different. We're not meant to do things the same way.
Exactly. I 100% agree with that. In fact, what you were saying about weeds, the other day, I often take a walk to the beach, the coast, because we're quite near to it. And when I'm on my own, I get messages and stuff that come through. I don't know where they're coming from, but I do sometimes know that they're from fairies. And they said there's no such thing as a weed. Every plant has a purpose, and the same as people, we're all different, and flowers and plants are all different, and they should all be celebrated, and celebrating the differences. And I really liked that message, directly relating to people as well as plants. So I thought I'd just throw that in there because you mentioned weeds. That's why.
It's one thing about the show. I'm sorry, Tara, go ahead.
No, that's okay. There was a little article that I just read about dandelions, and everybody over here, it's a horrible weed, and yet the article was about all of the things that dandelions are edible. My grandmother made dandelion wine all the time. And I, every so often, as, the grandkids, if we were acting up too much, we got to have a little bit because it calmed us down. But again, it's so much about your perception. If what you want is this austere green lawn those dandelions are weeds, but if you're letting nature take its course and you look at it with the beauty of what it is, it's a dandelion. It's pretty. The little blue and white flowers that come all over my lawn. Yeah, we have to mow it, but they come back because we're not putting weed killer on it.
Yeah.
And but a lot of it's in your perception. If it's something you want, it's a flower, it's a plant. If it's something you don't want, it's a weed. So
yeah.
And go ahead.
You know, you can also you talked about the dandelion wine, but there's a band called Dandelion Wine as well. They played at the Faerie Festival. Yeah, hi Dandelion Wine. I don't know if they're here, but the petals of dandelions, the little yellow leaves, petals, you can put them in salads and eat them. Yep. And the leaves are very high in iron and vitamin C. So you can use dandelion leaves raw in salads, and you can use them, they've got similar qualities to spinach. They're really good.
I have a friend that makes dandelion jelly, and it's really good, but I found out I'm allergic.
Oh, no.
Talking Toey just said, my dad's family had to eat dandelion greens all the time to survive during the Depression. They also make great wine. I have a bottle in the fridge right now. So there we go. I always feel sad when I go out to mow my lawn. I enjoy the beautiful green flat thing, and it is my lawn is 40% what would be considered weeds and 60% grass. And when you mow it down to the same level, it all looks nice together. But I'll get this 12 or 20 foot circle of beautiful purple little flowers popping up. And there have been times I have mowed around it instead of mowing them down because I'm like, it's so pretty. I don't want to tear that up. I want to get rid of the unevenness and everything. But it's all the same height. It's a beautiful spread of color. Right now at the end of my lawn by the road, there's this wonderful bloom of russet colored flowers. And when you're right at them, it's hard to see them. But when you're back 50 feet, you're like, there's this just arc of rust-colored leaves. They're teeny, and then we had this stripe of yellow going on just the other side of it, and no, it's very nice. It's very nice, and sometimes I feel bad going, well, it's time to mow that down.
I think flowers should always be left to blossom. I know they say there's something called deadheading, where once the flower has blossomed, then you take it off. It's supposed to be good for it. I always let flowers run their course, and do what they need to do. I grew some kale. Do you have kale over there?
Yes.
Yeah. Some black kale. I grew it 2 years ago, and it was supposed to be an annual plant apparently, but it just kept growing. I let it go, and then just a couple of weeks ago, all these gorgeous yellow flowers just came out, and the bees were just coming from everywhere. So also that's another thing about dandelions. The bees love dandelions. We need bees to survive. Scientific fact. So I think it's good. I would actively encourage people to not use pesticides. Leave the weeds, leave the flowers, let them do their own thing, and enjoy the beauty of nature, because it's amazing. And that's where the fairies come in, because they're the guardians of nature.
The only place I use pesticides is directly on the driveway where I drive. And that's just so when I have guests over, they know where the lawn ends and the driveway begins. It's that's the only place I use pesticide. The rest of the yard, I'm not worried about it. It'll be fine. But my lawnmower's broke, so right now it gets to just be wild and free and do what it wants to do.
Yay!
Maybe that's bringing in the extra fairies. We have hummingbirds here, by the way. I have the
lots of hummingbirds.
And we'll get like 12 of them fighting with each other. So we've got like 6 feeders up around the house. And they still fight over the same one because that's what they do. But it's like little tiny jet planes going at each other.
And the cats like to sit at the windows and watch it. It's their TV.
Wow, that must be. You're probably used to it. It sounds like you're used to seeing them, but for me, that would be so magical seeing that. They're really tiny, aren't they?
They're about the length of your finger, and you lovely. Can't see their wings when they're flapping it because they flap so fast. And They're cute, and they will buzz us. If we don't have the feeders out and they come back in the spring, we'll be out on the front porch doing something, and they will buzz our head. Like, bzz, and you're like, oh, is it a wasp? And then you see the larger shape go here, like, the hummingbirds are back.
Wow. I'd love to see one in real life. That'd be so cool.
And we make our own sugar water concoction, not the stuff from the store with the red dye that can be bad for them. We make our own.
Yeah, it's just pure cane sugar and water and blended together, put in the feeders. And now I'm very worried because I haven't seen any since that big storm, and I'm worried that the poor little guys didn't take shelter and we've lost part of our hummingbird population. But I'm leaving the feeders up, hoping we see them again soon.
I bet they come back. Birds are pretty savvy when it comes to the elements and weather. I mean, like in an eclipse, all the birds will go quiet before the eclipse happens. It's like they know. And the same in a storm as well. They know and they'll take shelter. They'll come back, I'm sure they will.
M.W. Tingle, thank you. Appreciate the follow. Welcome to Talk of the Tavern.
Yay, welcome.
Welcome.
Yeah, it's and I personally, in my little imagination, love to associate hummingbirds with fairies, which they've done in a movie or two.
I want to, before the hour is up and everything, I want to mention I am a coordinator for a cosplay contest at a convention in Williamsburg, Virginia. And in 2019, our theme is fairies.
Yay!
And I will put the link in the chat so you can check it out, go volunteer, come visit, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
Stop in.
That's amazing.
Play with the fairies or as a fairy, whatever your pleasure is.
Or both.
Thank you, Grouchy. Appreciate the bits. Or both.
Yeah, both.
Oh, you know what? Actually, since now we've got 20 minutes left in this hour, let's real quick turn it to Tara. Tara is writing editing an anthology as well as has a story in it. I have a story in it. Andrea, we're unsure if she's going to be in it or not. She might.
Maybe.
I know. And we've asked Karen if she would like to write a story or at least the foreword with your expertise on fairies.
I'd love to. Be honoured.
Good. Yes.
So what kind of stuff are you looking for?
And I just want to mention that this book will be available at MarsCon 2019.
I'm there. I'm coming.
Part of the proceeds goes to the local charity that MarsCon supports, which is an animal rescue, animal shelter.
Animal shelter.
Yeah, Heritage Humane Society.
So we're helping the animals, helping the fairies.
There's all the little animals come to the con also.
They do.
So you can meet them and adopt them.
Then I've got to pet my kitty right now.
But the anthology this is the second time we've done an anthology to debut at MarsCon, with proceeds going towards the con's charity. This year, with the theme being Land of the Fairies, the anthology is fairy stories of whatever that means to the author.
So Karen,
we've had one full submission so far, which is very mythic, very lovely, and everyone's kind of, I think, still kind of feeling their way about what they, what I mean by a story with the fairies as a main part of that story. So, but we're hoping. And I want to discuss that heavily in the second hour. Yeah. The reason I brought it up right this second is if Karen can offer some maybe fresh or different ideas that as authors, especially primarily U.S. authors, we might not think of these things in the fairy context, but you've got these great ideas that we just don't, it's not even on our radar. So any thoughts of what kind of stories might be great in a fairy anthology?
Are you asking me?
Yeah. Different types of fairies or fairy activities, things that you've seen, experienced, or learned that you would go, hey, this would make a great story. You want to throw some ideas around?
Yeah, I mean, you could talk about fairy sightings, where people have actually experienced and seen fairies. Lots of people contact me with their experiences, and they're quite profound, some of them actually. And I think it would be really good to include something like that, and how the different ways that people connect with fairies. Some people perceive them to be very dark beings, and some people perceive them as very light beings. My personal belief on that is that as you've got people, you've got nice people, not so nice people. I don't think there's a blanket rule for everyone, and I feel it's the same way in the fairyland, in the realm of fairies, that yes, there are more not so nice beings and there are some nice beings as well. I really don't think it's a blanket thing. That's my personal belief and my personal experience as well. I've experienced both sides, and I really do liken it to people, good and not so good. So that's something that you could look at. How people celebrate fairies, which is something that I make a lifetime out of doing, celebrating fairies with the events and at the various times of year, what people do. There's so many ways to express and celebrate your personal connection with fairies and what it means to people, because it's very different for everybody. That's all I can say, and haven't done that yet.
So with Fae magazine, what kind of content do you have for those that haven't ever experienced it? What are they going to find in your magazine?
Okay, so Fae magazine is what I call a lifestyle magazine. It's lifestyle in the sense of people that either feel that they are part fairy or they connect to fairies as a human. And the fashions, the folklore, we go a lot into that, and we look at various things. We've even got like a beauty editor, because you always hear about fairy glamour, and how they use this glamour and they can transform themselves. So we've kind of taken that a step further. So we have a regular beauty column, how you can, do different fairy makeup looks. And so it's all very practical. And then the folklore, the mystery, the magical side of things, because fairies are very magical beings, that they are magic. They have wishes and stuff, and they can share them if they want to. They can be quite hard to prize them out,
I need to make a garden gnome outfit for MarsCon. I need to go as a garden gnome.
Yeah, you do. You totally do. Definitely. Yeah. I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, even if Good.
Sorry. So yeah, the magazine is it's a lifestyle magazine. So it's like a fairy melting pot with everything thrown in, and we have different reader contributions. We've got regular columnists. And lots of fashion and expression of the creative side of fairies, because that's one thing that seems to be quite consistent, is how the influence of fairies, it does make people more creative. I've noticed that consistently over the years. It brings something out, and you kind of you get out of the box, you stand on the box, you throw away the box, and you throw away all the rules, and you just express yourself, and there are no limits in how you do that. So Fae is like a physical paper platform to do that, although it is available digitally too.
By the way, I'm looking at the website right now.
I did put the website for Fae magazine in the chat, so anyone can click the link.
And if anybody is looking to submit an article, short story, poetry, anything like that, there is a whole tab right across the top that you can click on, so you can submit your ideas, articles, and whatnot, and possibly be in Fae magazine, which I know has a worldwide distribution. They sell it here in Barnes & Noble and other places where you get quality magazines. So check. It's beautifully done. They do great covers. I've actually had a handful of friends on the cover, including Mickey Wonderland. I want to say hello to her. It's
hey, Mickey.
She's always delightful, isn't she? So
Blueberry Fae.
Absolutely. Now mermaids. She's doing a lot of mermaid stuff too now.
Yeah. I love mermaids too. That's a whole other subject. We need to do a show on mermaids, or you could do a show on mermaids if you wanted to.
Absolutely.
I know lots of mermaids.
You can come back and we'll talk about mermaids.
Yeah. Yay! And I'll try to get Mickey on there for that, and we'll hold on. I'm writing that down so I don't forget. And Yeah, what I'll do is after the show today, I'll drop you another message and see, hey, let's set this up for a month from now or something.
Yeah, definitely. Because I know this is mermaids, not fairies, but I'll just say I'm really, really excited because I know you have them in America, these like mermaid aquariums with real mermaids swimming in them. But we don't have anything like that in the UK. But I've just connected with somebody who's got the very first mermaid aquarium in the UK, so they're going to be at our festival next month as well. So I'm really, really excited about that. Yeah,
Tell us about this. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Andrea.
I just want to say also where Tara and Mo live, the city's mascot is a mermaid, so there's mermaid statues
Norfolk,
everywhere.
Virginia, we have mermaids everywhere.
Oh, I love that.
It is our city symbol.
Nice. I need to move there, don't I, really?
Well, visit at least.
Yeah, at least visit. Yeah, maybe move is a bit drastic.
I think you would miss
trust
the
me, we're going to be underwater with the mermaids pretty soon. But
really? Okay.
We're thinking.
Karen, why don't you tell us a little bit about that event coming up next month?
Okay. Shall I share a little secret?
I think so. I think it's a good time for it.
Yeah. Okay. So, and actually, this does refer to gnomes a little bit, but because we've got some very special guests coming. I haven't announced it anywhere else except here first. And Brian and Wendy Froud are going to be coming. Yeah. And Brian really is often depicted as a gnome when people draw him, albeit a bit grumpy, but he's not really. He's not.
Now, real quick,
really nice.
Does everybody know who Brian Froud is? He worked with Jim Henson on a lot of different projects. Andrea, is his name on that book you keep holding up? It's but he does all kinds of fairy and gnome puppetry design, costume design, art. He's very well known in the fairy community. Worked, like I said, with Henson Productions a lot on, I want to say, Dark Crystal and Labyrinth.
Dark Crystal.
Labyrinth, I was going to say.
Yeah, yeah, I know. And also, well, him and his wife, Wendy, they both have worked on all of those projects. They're actually currently working on the Dark Crystal for, I believe it's Netflix. I hope that's correct. And it's all super top secret stuff, so I never even ask them about it because I know that they can't say anything until they're allowed to say something, so I'll just be kind of on the sidelines waiting. I'm being very patient, but yeah, they're working on that, but they're taking some time out to come to Three Wishes Fairy Festival next month, so that is going to be so exciting to welcome them. Yeah. And they can oversee that. We're doing a unicorn world record, so we're going to get them to oversee that for us as well.
Nice. Yay. What else is going on at this event?
Okay, there's quite a lot. It's basically 3 days and nights. It's now extended to 4 nights because some people were traveling from quite far away, so we now have an early entry ticket so people can come on the Thursday evening ready for when everything starts on the Friday. And it's 3 days. We have 3 different themes on. It's a fairy festival, but there's themes within themes. So the first theme is mermaids and Mad Hatters. Make of that what you will. Nice. So we're going to kind of mermaid, steampunk, Alice in Wonderland vibe going on that day. And then on the Saturday, it's a unicorn theme where we'll be having Brian and Wendy Froud coming, and we're going to be attempting the official Guinness World Record attempt for the most people wearing unicorn horns in one place.
Oh, if you can, get like a short little video of it and send it to us, and we'll put it in our resale bin.
Well, we have to, part of the rules is that you do have to provide video evidence because it's an official thing. It'll be an official attempt. The current world record is 250 people, so I'm quietly confident that we will be able to achieve that.
I am
quietly confident because you never know what's going to happen. So we're going to have lots of things like unicorn horn making workshops and things like this. No actual unicorns will be harmed in the process.
That's good.
Just need to say that. So yeah, that's the Saturday, and then on the Sunday the theme is Fairy Circus Sunday. So but no scary clowns are allowed. But anything else to do, there'll be trapezes and there'll be all sorts of things going on with a fairy circus theme. Like, have you seen The Greatest Showman? Have you seen that film?
Yes.
Yeah. So it's like the Greatest Showman in Fairyland. That's the vibe that we're going for.
Nice.
And there will be, I don't want this to sound like an advert, but there will be like more than 100 free workshops, talks and things, activities that people can take part in, including things like mermaid yoga and fairy school and crafts and incense making and wand making, and just a whole list that will all be released in the next couple of days. So there's so much to do for everyone, and it's a family event. So it's not just like, oh, there's lots of cute stuff for the kids, there's stuff for the adults. We've got 2 bars, we've got a pirate cocktail bar, we've got a bar in the big top 10.
I'll drink to that.
There's adult stuff. Yeah, and me, even though mine's only water, but yay, cheers. So there's really, really good bands. We're bringing over a couple of bands from Europe as well, called Repalier and Prima Nocta, and there's a whole list. I won't go through them all now, but you can check it out on the website. So yeah, that's like a nutshell of what's going on. Plus throw in a lot of kind of fairy magic in the mix.
What is the website for the event, so I can post
yeah, it's faeriefestival.co.uk, and I spell that the conventional way now because too many people were getting confused, so it's like FAIRY Festival, faeriefestival.co.uk.
And by the way, a quick thank you to Tingle. Appreciate the compliment. Tingle says, great show, guys. So here's appreciate that. Thanks for joining.
Yay.
Yes.
Yay.
There you go. I'm curious. I wish we had, the fairies can bring together the ability for us to attend that. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be so cool. You could do like a live show from there or something.
I just want to see mermaids do yoga.
Yeah, and me. I think I'm going to join in that class as well. And fire-breathing mermaids and all sorts.
See, we need mermaids doing yoga we're doing yoga at Talk at the Tavern.
Yeah,
yes.
That's good. I could have a word with them and get them on. I'm sure they'd love to.
We will love anything you do, but also we totally understand if after that weekend you go, I didn't think about Talk at the Tavern at all. I was so busy because you're running an event. But yeah, and absolutely. And then it goes into our refill break, so people hear about you every time we go on a break.
Oh, well, I'm giving you permission to send me messages on Facebook saying, don't forget Talk at the Tavern, and then I'll remember that I really do need that. So, especially coming up to the event and, maybe even during it.
Yeah.
Because I will be doing social media because not everybody can make the event. It's in quite I don't want to say a remote place, but it's, if you imagine England, we're right at the bottom of England, and then you go up to the first border between Devon and Cornwall. So it's fairly, you've got to really want to go there to go there.
Friends on the Isle of Wight that we might be able to send your way. It's I don't
know. I just want to throw out there, it is June 15th through 17th.
It is, yeah. And the location is called Mount Edgecombe Country Park, and basically it's an area of outstanding natural beauty, and it's just stunning, and there's definitely fairies on that land for sure.
Very good. Now we're about to go into our refill break. Karen, can you stay with us, or do you need to scurry off to your next thing?
How long? What time is it? Sorry.
It is your time. We would be looking at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, I do kind of need to go because I've got kind of human things to do. It's gone too quickly. I wish I could stay for longer. I'll come back.
You can always come back anytime.
Yeah.
That's right.
Thank you.
We'll set up
Thank you so much for having me.
And now you'll know, and we can keep you longer for more of the show. So.
Yeah, definitely. I'll make a night of it next time. Thank you so much for having me, and have fun, and cheers, and yay.
Cheers to you and all your success.
Thank you so much. Take care.
You too. Okay, I'm going to disconnect her, and then we're going to go into a refill break, and everybody hang out. We're going to be right back. We just got to go top off our glasses. So And I'm going to play our regular refill break, but during the second hour we have a brand new refill break that I'll be playing, and I'm kind of excited by that. So we'll be right back, guys.
Sit right back and relax, or get up and get a drink and refill what you have, while the cast and cohorts and co-hosts of Talk of the Tavern do the same. Now here's the testimony of some of the great people we've had on Talk of the Tavern or previously on Sounds of Steam. Enjoy.
This is Gail Carragher, author of The Finishing School and the Custard Protocol series, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Aiden Sivart, Steampunk Indiana Jones.
Hey, this is Scott.
This is Samantha.
And we're Frenchie and the Punk.
I'm Karen Kay, also known as the Fairy Lady and editor of Fae magazine, and also founder of Faerie Events.
This is K.W. Jeter, author of Infernal Devices and Fiendish Schemes.
Kircher here. I played Bifur in the Hobbit trilogy, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Trevor Crafts, executive producer and creator of Lantern City.
This is Lord Bobbins of Teslacon. Huzzah!
Steampunk Funk Bazaar here, Lord Monty, right in front of your radio.
Hello, this is Professor Elemental. When I'm not taking a bath in gin or trying to invent a new kind of badger, I'm listening. Oh, yes!
This is Stephen Davis of Raising Steam UK, 2-day Steampunk Festival in Reading. Enjoy.
I'm Thomas Williford of Brute Force Studios, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Commander Bob of Victor Sierra.
Je suis la légendaire princesse convertie de Victor Sierra.
Hi, my name is Sarah from Valentine Wolf.
Hey, this is Braxton from Valentine Wolf.
This is Aileen the Peacemaker, the founding editor of Beyond Victoriana, the multicultural steampunk blog.
Hey, this is Joseph C.R. Vortek, otherwise known as Electro Swing Neo Vintage DJ Vortek, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern. I hope you come out of it in one piece. I'm not sure I did.
And don't forget about our other shows during the week. Tuesday, Middle-Aged Gamers on Wednesday, and Virtual International Pub VIP on Thursdays. Make sure you join us there, 1 p.m. Eastern to 4 p.m.
Hi, my name is Ashley Rogers. I'm the organizer of the Copper Claw.
This is Calamity Dawn, mixologist of Airship Passepartout.
This is Commodore Lorpicar of Lost Saints Curiosities.
This is Jimmy Diggs of the Crypto Historians, reminding you that the future is in your hands.
This is Gabrielle Reel.
Hi, this is D. Clarence Snyder, writer of the Bright Future series, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Professor Marcus O'Bannon, the Chief Scientific Investigator for the Crypto Historians.
This is Lady Gatita of Nerdvana.
Hey, this is Angie Vello from Ghostfire.
This is Hannah Titania, Queen of the Fairies.
This is Jeff Platt of Highland Steamworks.
This is Danielle Ackley McPhail, co-author of Baba Ali and the Clockwork Gin, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern Radio.
Hi, this is John R. White, author of The Tales of the Airship Neverland.
This is Catherine Gleason, author of Anatomy of Steampunk, The Fashion of Victorian Futurism.
This is opera singer Katie Cat.
This is Keith Prusak of Bad September.
This is Captain James Barrington of the mighty Claxton.
This is Emily Leverett, and I'm the editor of Big Bad and Anthology of Evil, Volumes 1 and 2, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hola Radio Escuchas, les habla Lady Smoke de Sociedad de Steampunk Argentina y Sindicato Dieselpunk.
This is Melanie Grace with Live Steamy.
We are Warren and Betsy Talbot of MarriedWithLuggage.com.
This is Christopher Meeker, author of Hawthorne, Chronicles of the Brass Hand.
This is Mickey Wonderland, Steampunk Fairy Princess of Wonderland with a fresh cup of Mad Hatter tea.
Hi, this is Margaret McGraw, author of the prompt writing blog WritersSpark.com, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Hello, this is Mishkin from Bird Eats Baby.
This is Nim Derringer of Airship Hypatia.
This is Painless Parker.
This is Persephone Burroughs Dimebagger, co-captain of the Airship Hypatia.
This is Psyche of Psyche Corporation.
Ahoy, me darlings. This is Misty Massey, author of Mad Kestrel, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
I'm Ellie Ann from Steampunk Homes, author of Slice of Life and The Silver Sickle. Hope you enjoy the show.
This is Captain Jared Cornwall of the Melanie Rose.
Hi, this is Lucy Luminos with Tinker the Web Series.
This is Travis Fessler, the steam-powered circus freak from the Pickled Brothers Circus.
This is Scott Norman of The Wars of Other Men.
I'm Mr. Cat of the Cat in Black Art, and you are listening to Talk of the Tavern.
This is Wendy Callahan, author of The Cronus Clock.
This is Daniel Burrow, creator of Tefra, the steampunk role-playing game. Cheers and gears and good gaming.
This is Tempest Wolf, actor and producer of Tinker web series. Tinker by name, Tinker by nature.
This is Shelley Dusick, the captain of Vandalia, and you're listening to Talk of the Tavern.
Did you know Talk of the Tavern also publishes books? Make sure you look us up online. We're on Amazon.com.
Okay, we're back. Ooh, I get to rearrange my screen. Andrea went away.
When are you going to pull Mo in?
Whenever Mo would like. Absolutely. It's, I'm just rearranging the screen right now. Oh, Andrea's back. There we go. Welcome back, Andrea. Let's, resize the screen. There we go. Move things around just a wee bit. Let's see, I think we're almost to the... There we go. Okay, move. So, yeah, let Mo know if they want to join in. Just
okay.
Get on and let us know.
Mo should be listening, so... Or you're still not playing the thing, right?
Oh, no, we're done. We're out of it. We're back.
Hey, Mo, give us a message.
You know, while we're waiting to find out about this, I will say, yeah, I want to make a gnome outfit, a lawn gnome outfit. I don't care if it's blue jeans and a flannel shirt and a pointed hat.
I may have everything already.
Yeah. It's, I think that would be wonderful and simple and make other people go, why didn't I do that?
I'm not coming as a nymph.
Yeah, you are, baby.
No. I saw those nymph pictures and not safe for work. It's like, oh, look at this one. It's eating a little much. Oh, that's not a mushroom.
It's mushroom shape.
Oh, my. So, Tara, I do make tutus and fairy wings, and I'm going to make bunches of them with what I have. So, you're welcome to have whatever.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
I'm guessing Mo is watching. Oh, you know what? Tingle said Wild Food Foraging 2, and I'm guessing that's in reference to the Faerie Festival. So I'm guessing Tingle is in the know about that. So that's awesome. It's great to see some of Karen's friends and fans and folk appear.
Yeah.
So
I want to go to England now.
I know,
but I can't.
Doesn't just like her describing.
I want to go back. Let's go.
We'll make it. We'll do it. It's just a matter of time. And then we'll be all set up and good to go. We'll make it happen.
Oh. And I've set my glasses down somewhere. Oh, well.
So
I drove down here yesterday without them, so. I broke my glasses yesterday.
Oh, you're a beast. What'd you do?
So we were at the shooting range, shooting shotguns yesterday. Lovely, gorgeous day. Wind come up. Papers went flying. So did my glasses, but we didn't realize it. So what do you do when papers are flying in the wind? You're stepping on papers, and we're not sure who stepped on the papers that covered my glasses. They were complete pancaked. I mean, absolutely. So I drove from Northern Virginia to Norfolk yesterday. Good thing I'm not blind, but.
So is this a pair you've had for a while, and you probably should have got a new pair anyway? So.
Yeah, but they're my transitions, so I really liked them. But.
Gotcha.
It probably is. My eyesight doesn't change much.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was. I can definitely get the freebie pair. It's been at least 2 years.
There you go. So, and worse comes to worse, you could probably use the lenses if you didn't scratch them and just get new frames that fit them.
No, they're gone.
Okay.
It was a rocky, gravelly place.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, I held them up and went, even if they were.
Can you save one lens and make a monocle out of it?
Yeah, I mean, right now, they're kind of monocle now. Yeah.
There you go.
I see better. Mr. Magoo with his.
It's Mr. Magoo. I don't know why I enjoyed that show when I was young. It's not actually all that clever. It's very repetitive, but it was entertaining with the things he would walk through.
Yeah. I think for kids, because you do that kind of stuff, it felt validating, maybe, that you saw an adult do it too.
There you go. Okay. Mo is ready. Give me a second. Let me add people. Let's see here. We got a Mo.
Apparently, Mo was yelling to you and you couldn't hear them
It's
with your headset.
And I have multiple people here from Mo, so I'm going to try this one and see if it works. See if it's the right one. Let's see here. There we go. I think I got the right person. Let's see. Dun, 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 dun.
No, you don't. I don't recognize that person.
Now I'll rearrange my screen again. Let's see here. I'll do that. By the way, Tara, I do want to talk more about the book. And by the way, while talking to her, I came up with a couple what I feel are very good and clever ideas for the book. So
I came up with one too.
What do you come up
with?
Or is it a secret?
No, just I'm probably going to write a Kimmy Darnell, because I could see Prue going out into the backyard of that lovely little cottage she has and finding a fairy ring, and it actually being a message from Jack or something sent by, because I have this mysterious box thing going too that I'm kind of developing. It's something from Russ, her deceased husband. So I'm like, yeah. So there's a little kernel there. It might, into popcorn, or it might just get moldy.
Well, my couple of ideas that I picked up from this is, first of all, one for Andrea, because I know Andrea and her writing style and concepts. Perhaps, Andrea, you could do a FBI fairy investigation going on. And that way you could write it like an agent writing the notes of the different things they run across.
Oh, maybe.
It's because that gives you the...
I've been working on the one story, Diary of a Teenage Fairy.
Oh, okay.
I've been working on that.
Cool.
So I may give it to you. I don't know yet.
Please do. Please.
And then also...
I want to read it whether you submit it for the anthology or not. I would like to read it and give you feedback.
Okay.
And also I came up with the concept of a fairy war and the humans being caught up in the middle and catching the backlash of it.
Yeah, especially if they don't know that it's happening.
Right. It's because they don't believe in fairies, but here's these things that are happening and going on and whatnot. So there we go. It's there's the two concepts I came up with, and they could be tied together. Where if Andrea doesn't want the FBI thing, it could be the FBI investigating this vandalism.
An incident, yeah.
I thought of something, but I'm not really a comedy writer. But something I think would be neat is nobody knows the troubles I've seen. And it could be like a comedy of gnomes and their shenanigans.
I feel like you need like a Eeyore type gnome leading it, going, "Oh, the trouble I go through."
Oh yeah.
I'll write that down too. So maybe I'll steal it. Hi, Mo.
Hello.
How are you?
Good. I'm thinking of the Trolls movie and how they're all like bubbly and colorful, and then there's the one.
Yeah. Exactly. It's it won't be the old cartoon from the '80s where Tom Bosley played the lead gnome. Do you remember that, Tara? David the Gnome?
No.
Yeah, it's out there.
She
I don't
doesn't
remember
things.
It's because she's got chocolate. What kind of chocolate are you eating right now? Is it Almond Joy?
Mounds or Almond Joy?
Oh no, the one Mounds I had was gone. No, it's
Hershey's Special Dark.
it's Dave's chocolate, actually.
And Dave's headset. Look at you. You're just all over the place. You're like, cats away. We're gonna play.
That's right.
It's So Mo, are you joining the anthology?
I am hoping to, but I've been having some horrible writer's block with it. And I know you're gonna sit there and be like, "You just stop writing."
Well, the thing is, a project like this can be such a help in breaking writer's block because it doesn't have to be a heavy story. You could just write find one character or two characters and just write 3-paragraph adventures for them. So it could be the things you just scribble down on the side when you're doing something else and whatnot. And you get a dozen of those, and then you have a whole thing. It's just like their little
So
journey.
what happened was about midnight last night, I awoke and I had this amazing idea, and I decided I'll totally remember it in the morning. I don't need to write it down. And so I flipped over and I fell back asleep. Do you think I can remember any of it?
No, we still
Of course not.
No, you always write it down. You always
I don't have anything to write it down with, okay?
Let's see, and I could waggle my finger and say that, but it was just the other day I was doing something and I'm like, here's a great joke that would make a good YouTube video, just a 2-minute YouTube video. And I'm like, but I'll remember. So I still do it to you.
Did you ever do my dad joke?
No.
No.
Goodness, you added the word joke to the end of that question. Let's see here.
My dad wouldn't let you do my dad. He's saving himself for only very few people. They have to love Voltron and...
So my son has a
There's a
joke with
list
your
of
dad.
things. Is it the original 1984 Voltron?
All of them. Angie, a question for you in the chat. Talking Toey says, what's the deadline again for the radio drama script project?
End of June, yeah?
Sorry, I was on mute. It is the June 30th.
There you go.
Somebody screamed at me.
Here's that dad joke. Hey, Mo. I went to the zoo the other day, but there was only one dog in it. It was a real Shih Tzu. Straight out of my 201 of the worst dad jokes. You're welcome. Oh, so I'm very excited, and it's book related. I have, by the way, Mo, don't get your feelings hurt because I still have you on track for a different one, but I have contacted artists. Okay, I'm rambling. So I wanted an inventory of my books, and I'm like, I don't have the spare cash for doing that. And I'm like, well, how can I do that? Can I do a Kickstarter? First, I tried Patreon, and it didn't blow up the way I hoped. So I went, okay, let's look at Kickstarter. And Kickstarter doesn't let you do anything unless if you're creating something. I'm like, well, I have 2 books coming out. One that I just have to finish up because Tara has edited. One that Tara is editing. And then I have 2 children's books. And it just happened I interviewed a children's artist yesterday and talked to another person. So I've actually pulled 2 of my children's books that aren't done yet. And with the Kickstarter, just the cost of producing these 4 books is what I'm going to run the Kickstarter, and then add on to it that people at certain levels, I'll donate books to local libraries or a library of their choice. I would just ship it straight to the library. Now, Mo, I still want you in particular to do the art for the 3 young ladies discussing their futures and what they want to be. That, I want your art for that. Because it fits better. But do you remember Sean Durrington, the one that did the adorable monsters at Mysticon?
Yes, I do.
He's one. And then you've seen my Chibi Facebook profile, right?
Yes.
The young lady that does that is doing another one.
Aww.
So they're very adorable styles that fit very well. And yeah, I figure if I'm going to do a Kickstarter, unlike other people who go, I'm doing 1 book, I want $7,000. I'm doing 4 books. I've already paid for part of this, so I just want $1,000. And then above that, it will allow me to do the other things and give to libraries and whatnot. So I'm just taking 2 more kids' books. I'll have 3.
We're trying to get out at least 2 kids' books, and it's been a time and a half. So we're getting there.
Well, how's Dementia coming along?
Dementia is coming along slowly at the moment. My iPad is having tantrums, and so when it decides to have a tantrum, it just shuts down. Luckily, most of the time it saves what I've done, but it just shuts down and decides it's done for the day. But I'm not behind yet because I was far enough along that I'm not quite behind. But
Would it be any help if I offered you my electronic drawing tablet that hooks into your computer?
Not at the moment,
Okay.
because I have one.
Okay.
I can pull mine out if it comes to that. I'm hoping it won't, but if it does, I have one. So,
Okay.
But thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. It's because it's so easy to wander away from a project and not get it done.
Oh, I just noticed on the scrolling thing, you have the audio drama submissions
Yeah.
thing. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, that is still up there. It's a bit small with the way we're crowded in today, but yeah, it's still up there.
I also, this is totally random, but I drew our bathtub macabre.
Hold on, let me make that big. There we go. Bathtub macabre. Instead of now, where's macabre come in instead of gin?
No, because it's dead.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I get it. I love that.
I also just happened to be wearing a Deadpool shirt, but that was totally unplanned. I didn't even realize until we turned it on.
I'm wearing Deadpool pasties.
Oh,
I'm wearing Deadpool's underwear.
Ooh.
Did you wash it first?
What am I wearing?
We're not talking about that.
So, Tara, let's talk about your anthology a little bit. Would you have ever done fairies if it wasn't for MarsCon, or is it just doing what the con does? Do you like fairies? Is it something that you've wanted to do stories about?
When I was a kid, I wrote fairy stories all over the place, all the time. I mean, definitely the theme, the fact that this anthology is fairy themed is because of the theme for MarsCon. So that it meshes with it. Everybody will be hopefully in that fairy-minded mood when they're at the con and go, ooh, you know. But it didn't work 100% for werewolves last year, but I think fairies are more accessible for people.
I think you got a bigger fan base in the beginning anyway.
Yeah.
And it's easier for you to dress as a fairy and present the book than for you to dress as a werewolf.
I would have done it.
You should have done it. You'd make a good
I
werewolf.
should have.
It was way too
Well, I was
warm
sitting
by
there and
the
I was like,
fireplace.
this was just coming in, so I was like, it was.
You could have been mid-turn. You know, you get
I'm halfway.
A little bit of hair over here, whatever. And it's like I'm in the midst of
That pubescent type werewolf.
Yeah.
That explains the moodiness. You're mid-change.
Always.
Yeah.
But yeah, this anthology I think is. I've got a bit more interest from some different authors. Andrew Hiller has submitted his, and his has been accepted already. So we've already got one new author participating in our anthology, which is good.
By the way, if anybody is listening, you can go to Dreampunk Press, correct? And find out more information if they want to submit a story?
I put the link in the chat. So there you go.
Are you accepting outside stories still?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
If you message Dreampunk Press, I can send in. You know, somebody wants to message via Facebook. I will definitely send some information, and then if they're still interested, because we have the Facebook group for that, for developing the anthology. If they're serious about trying to put a short story together and submit it, I will certainly add them to the group as long as they play by the group rules.
Now, the deadline for that is also June 30th. By July 1st, it has to be turned in and handed to Tara. So if you're considering it, you don't have months and months on hand. You've got a reasonable amount of time. 1 month.
1 month.
And by the way...
And what are our lengths?
I'm looking for an average of 8,000 words. So between 6, between 10, or if you wanted to submit 2 stories of about 3,000 words, that's fine too, as long as they're kind of connected.
Are you accepting poetry?
Yes.
Okay, so
But it doesn't have to be 3,000 words.
it's an epic ballad, Nordic style.
So, because I'm thinking that Andrea's gnome idea there would really work as a poem.
It could.
Possibly. So, but yes.
I'll make a note.
But yeah, poetry definitely could also be, a gnote.
Gnote.
That always makes me think of the Smurf episode where the Smurfs were turning purple and biting each other on the tail, and they were shouting, "Ganap, ganap." It's like they were part bug, part Smurf.
I think that's more hilarious that I have no idea. Like, I know what a Smurf is in, like, theory,
right?
But I've never seen any Smurf.
I have some in my garden with my gnomes.
Oh.
Yeah, we got Pop the Smurf, Smurfette, and then some, like, just generic Smurf. So I like to think of it as myself, Andrea, and Aiden. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Do you think minions fit into, like, the fairies and gnome universe?
Why not?
No, but they should sure visit it. The fact that they don't fit in would be wonderful.
They're giant Tic Tacs.
Well, you were like, they were turning purple and biting each other, and I was like,
yeah.
You mean, like, the minions?
Yeah, this reminded me, when I saw that Minion movie, yeah, that was in the Minion movie, right? Yeah.
No, it was in number 2, wasn't it?
I don't remember. Maybe
I don't know.
I thought it was 3 with the brother.
No, they didn't turn purple during that one.
I have all the movies. We'll watch them tonight.
Find out. We'll let you know. We do not have the Minions movie, though, because I didn't think it was all that good.
I
It's
didn't
on
watch
Netflix.
it. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah.
I did not like the Minions movie. I'm like, nope.
Well, it's like they took Jar Jar Binks and Porgs and put them in a movie together and went, now we have a kids movie for Star Wars. No, stop it. The kids enjoyed it.
I saw it in the theater. So.
Yeah. I remember like nothing about it except they march through time and end up at the Statue of Liberty.
They were in London.
The thing that I love is they had to actually the writers had to think of a reason why the minions were unable to follow Hitler. And so they decided, as a writing tool, they just shipped them off to Antarctica and stranded them there for about 400 years, so they avoided both of the world wars, and then got back out and found Groot. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, is that amazing writing or horrible writing? Like, we gotta avoid Hitler.
It's interesting.
That's having to create a reason after the fact is what it is.
Well, it also allows you to, if it was 400 years, it kind of skips all of modern warfare.
Yeah.
You know, our whole current recent history, you know, the
you can only do so much in the movie, and they had to pick and choose. So.
Right. So in that, it's nice that they skipped the American Revolution. This lets them not be on anybody's side throughout recent history where people get moody about it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now, have you started your story, Tara? And by the way, I will probably definitely be tying mine back into the Talented Trio also. So, have you started yours?
Okay. I have not.
Okay, we're in the same boat. You're not alone.
Yeah.
I haven't either, so it's okay.
Yes, Andrea.
Mo's laugh right there, that needs to be redeemed for stuff. You need to sound clip that.
No.
And just put it up as Mo laugh, and just let people.
Yes, because that was great.
You just have to follow Mo around with the sound
nothing else was going on during it. It was just my laugh, which makes it even worse.
Dude, put down the timestamp. I'll highlight it. We are an hour 28 in right now, so it'd be right around 1:28.
You guys are. I'm 18 minutes and 58 seconds.
Well, I'm looking at the broadcast on how long we've been streaming.
Yeah.
There's Mo laugh, and then I'll see if I can't set that up.
I'll get. That means when I'm watching y'all, I can redeem my own laugh at you.
Yes, you can. Yes, you. Oh, pardon me while I stretch. Okay.
Put those CDs out there. I'm sorry.
What kind of what are you looking for? I know you said mature. I mean, without being a porn story. So, what kind of?
Yeah.
What are you looking for?
No mushrooms.
I really was trying to solidify an audience, and it was less about mature content, which is not what I was driving at, but for a mature reader.
Right.
Vice, because the last time we had a couple YA, we had adult, we had some stuff that got, and I admit mine was one of them that kind of went a little bit too far, and I had to cut that back and go, no, this is not, if somebody's going to give this, because we've got 2 YA stories to their kid, I had to edit certain things out of my story.
Mushrooms.
Mushrooms. Yes, mushrooms. That's what I had. Yep.
Sorry. She came to me. She was like, "There's a blowjob in my story." I was like, "Oh my goodness! How did that get there?"
Well, I wrote it. So yeah, that kind of had to come out. So this time around, rather than
of the closet.
Oh my goodness.
You were saying?
It was a gay blowjob. It did have to come out of the closet. Okay? Great. You should buy our werewolf anthology.
Yeah,
you can get it at dreampunkpress.com.
Now with 30% 30% less mushrooms.
Try to guess which one of the stories the mushrooms came out of.
So, yeah, guess which one. So that was less, because I know there was the discussion in the Facebook group at the time, that didn't mean mature with gratuitous sex, gratuitous violence, language, etc. That's not what I meant. I was more driving at the idea of not the YA, not, let's...
She didn't want me to come in with 13-year-olds again.
Mix know-it-all. Let's try adult, with adult characters, not necessarily, adult XXX content, but...
we've talked about this enough. I just want to say, maybe you need to do 2 anthologies for the fairies. The one we're discussing with no mushrooms, and then the other one that you serve with the brown bag around it. Going, this is another fairyology for adults only.
Adults
if you wrap it in brown paper and string and say, let me check your ID, you might sell more.
That's true.
Probably. If I get the submissions, I've got no problem putting a second anthology out.
I have a few authors we could contact about that. I do.
Wait, will we get lesbian porn?
I assume we get all of it. It's if I could do the one request of the one story to avoid, and that is the 6-inch fairy with the full-grown human man. Let's not do that story. That's been done to death. So,
I've never seen that story.
Really? Well, here's the image for your head.
I read that story.
One with the 4-inch male fairy?
Yeah.
I'm sure that's been done too then. I don't know.
It has.
Yeah, the image in your head is just this.
Oh, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Are you okay?
Don't
you
die.
Broke her. You broke her.
What is Mo looking for?
Tara's on the other side of the door.
See this door? It's that door.
More than once, haven't you? Just mute yourself, cough it out, come back when you're ready. And I'm not saying that picture...
Oh, she's muted to us on here, but I can still hear her.
And I'm not saying that image isn't hot or anything like that. I'm just saying it's been done a lot. So, yeah, we don't need that one.
Who's going to do the cover for that book?
Ooh, pick me.
I can still do the cover. I don't. It'll be weird because I don't know.
Oh, wrap it in brown paper.
And make a brown paper, looking cover.
With a fairy
That
peeking out of a tear.
Take your ID.
Yeah. You just have a fairy peeking out of a tear with most of the cleavage very suggestive, and that's all.
Yeah.
That's simple.
I can do that.
We have a cover design for the second anthology.
Now we need the stories. Everybody submit now. Wait, that has a different meaning. Never mind.
I'll have to contact one of my previous co-hosts. That's what they do for a living now. Actually, I've had 2 co-hosts that write erotica for a living and make money off of it. Wow, where
good for them.
Co-hosts from? Because now we'll all write erotica. I'll be like, we have 6 of us. We have like a small gang of porn people that write and talk on the radio and never attack anybody. With whips and chains.
Gang.
It's somewhere between the coolest and most lame ever. It's oh no, we don't beat our enemies with whips and chains. We write about it. So you want you to be a fairy too.
Oh, a whole different idea of fairy there.
Yeah, that'd be an interesting thing where, the fairy walks into the nightclub going, I heard this is a fairy club, and orgy.
Yep.
Oh my God, Karen, if you watch this whole thing afterwards, I'm so sorry. You might want to just clip that first hour with you and call it done.
Trust me, this is water, I swear.
Sure, it's water.
And
see, we brought Mo in.
Yeah,
we brought Mo in.
Mo has
we blame you, Mo.
Soy milk, so you've been milking your soy again?
No, it's protein nut milk.
So you're
the brown kind.
Milking your brown nut.
You probably they're pits. They're both the pits. But it's called nut milk, so we just go with it.
What do you mean?
Actually, this is the one with the pea protein. So
a little bit in there. Cashews and almonds are not technically tree nuts. They are the pits of a fruit, which means Momo's not allergic.
Oh.
I only like the fake nuts, man.
No real nuts for Mo.
Nope.
Welcome to Talk the Tavern. I bet the people that left are either really sad or
There was
so
a
relieved.
disclaimer in the beginning. You were warned.
There's another one on the ad rotation too. So
I'm sorry. Maybe I should just log off.
No.
This is fun now.
By the way, we do have Mo as a guest coming on to discuss dementia in just 2 weeks. It'll be June 6th, I believe. Yeah.
And there will be a banner up for that soon. I just got the pictures.
Yay! I sent a bunch. Pick what you like. Get rid of what you don't.
They'll all go on there. I still need a link when you get it.
Yeah.
But yeah,
really quick question about Kickstarter, directed toward Mr. Kickstarter. And that is, do you... Yes, the cat behind you in the window. No. The question was, do you know how to get your link early? Find out what your link will be? Because my page is set up, and you don't have to tell me right now. You can text it to me later, but I wanted to say it while I was thinking about it. Ask the question.
I'm not texting it. Here's the deal. The title you give your Kickstarter becomes your link. It becomes kickstarter.com/ then the title of your project that you typed in with hyphens between each word.
Okay.
Now, what's your tell me about your
You should get. I was going to say, I know you're going to say the bit link. Go ahead.
No. I was going to say, but they will cut it off if you have too many letters in your title, so you get part of your title with hyphens. Now, there is a preview link you can get that you can send to people so they can look at it before you launch it.
Yes. My preview link is like a paragraph long.
Yes, okay. Now, you know about bit.ly.
BitLink. Yes.
Hi, Des.
We're glad you're here. Right, that's all we got, apparently. Yeah, we're, the things you just missed in the past 3 minutes.
Hey!
Well, you know. Anyway.
So, yes, if your preview link is too big for you, just go to bit.ly and fix it.
Alrighty. Thank you.
Yep, so we're discussing fairy culture. You know, it was interesting when Karen
Before
said,
it was mushrooms.
Yeah.
And fairies eating mushrooms.
They're such fun guys.
They are. They are. It's, by the way, Mo, we will be playing Elizabeth's refill break before the 3rd hour.
I watched it on YouTube this morning.
Isn't
It's hilarious. I love it. I also commented on it. I said, I can't wait to watch this while getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern.
There you go.
That's great.
And by the way,
your gluten-free toast.
Gluten-free toast, that's true.
Yes.
Nightwatch Paradox just sent me a message that their album is now available for digital download. So maybe I'll go grab that link and throw it in for anybody who was on Tuesday. And I really do like their music. It was really nice. It's quite eclectic also.
I did not get to tune
we don't
in
know
this
what you
Tuesday.
did step into. Sorry.
No, go.
Des, we don't know what you stepped into. We don't see the bottom of your shoe.
Apparently we're easily amused. And this is us sober. Let's see here. I got.
Is it though?
Yeah. Well, unless if you had fermented nuts that you were putting in.
I didn't. I ate a lot of Chinese food first, though. I think Chinese food has magical properties. That's where the fairies are.
What were the pictures you sent us?
Those are just doodles that I'm hoping that will become coloring pages for you.
Can you ink them in heavy and remove the sketch lines?
Yeah.
There we go. That works.
They're just the sketches. Can I show them off, or do you not want me to?
Absolutely show them off. Absolutely.
I got Travis and his vice, which is the cigar.
I've got a massive cigar, ladies.
Yes.
I can rest
and
my
then
head
I did Andrea in a cup of coffee as a mermaid.
Oh.
That's adorable. Yeah.
Hey, and we're going to do it. We have to do a mermaid show now.
We do.
Exactly. That's actually, I started drawing that, and then you guys started talking about mermaids, and I was like, it's fate.
See, we blame you.
So, going back to mermaids, which is actually where I was headed next. With mermaids, they're talking about, I mean, when I got into this Twitch channel, you got into friends and family, so there you go. Welcome home.
We know what you meant. I was just being funny. Oh, I saw this meme about mermaids, and it was a swimmer, and then the shark bit him and jumped out of the water. So it was this person in a tail, and everybody thought it was a mermaid.
Good story.
Funny years.
No, I like it. It makes me think of Moana. Shark head.
Shark tail.
So, Karen mentioned mermaid community, that there's like big mermaid community, and I'm like, I have never seen or heard of one of these. Where the hell are
Come
they?
to Norfolk.
So what do they do when they get together?
They mermaid out. Like, they go to the ocean front and they wear their tails and they go in the water and they do, like, pictures with children.
It's creepy when I do it.
I have a friend that...
If you were in a tail, it'd be fine.
You have a friend.
I have a friend that is actually... This is what she does. She has a tail. She swims. She teaches. She does all that. Maybe I can get her on the show.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
So, there are a bunch of mermaid people who hang out at the hotel pools at Dragon Con every year. Interesting. And then Dez is correcting.
I'm scared of Dragon Con.
And then Dez is correcting your pronunciation of your hometown.
No.
Yeah.
This is my hometown. I say it how I say it, so.
Mo was born in Portsmouth. That's the problem.
The problem is, of course, everyone says I say that
Me
one wrong,
too.
Not it.
What?
Not it.
You are it.
No, I was not. Neither born in Portsmouth or Norfolk.
In Norfolk.
That's according to Toei. I'll let you Norfolkers get together and fight it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
It's.
I don't have.
Nobody
a horse in
here
this
says it that way. It's hilarious. Like, we were talking about this the other day. Michaela and I were down. Where were we? I don't even remember. At her graduation, and we had a bunch of people saying, you know, I graduated today, and someone said Norfolk, and someone was like, you're in Virginia Beach, and it was on the line. And anyway, everybody was saying Norfolk, and there were people trying to correct, and everyone's like, no, we figured out who was actually from the area, and no one from the area says it as Norfolk. So we were like, don't know, don't understand, but
it's all good.
It's always brought up.
Like I said, I don't have a seahorse in this race, so we're okay. It's Des, I'm not going to read your comment threatening guests out loud on air. That's just tasteless, dude. Anyhow, it's but yeah, it's so they don't have like monthly get-togethers or anything. It's only at certain conventions or certain places.
Not that I've seen.
There's not like roaming bands of mermaids on the street.
Yeah, flopping across the street. Yeah.
No, they go in
tanks.
tanks.
I'm messing with you. Calm down. It's they have tanks with strong, muscly, oiled men pushing them around.
Why do they have to be oiled?
So they glisten.
So they can
Okay.
fly
They're in the
across the
water.
street.
So they glitter.
They glisten. Glistening is different from glittering.
Is there water in this pool? Because if there's water in the pool, the oil is not going to stay on.
Well, we were talking about them crossing the street, and apparently they're putting more fish tanks when you do that. And then wandering people can come by. Thank you, Des. Appreciate that, buddy. It's hold on, got here. People can come by with those little jars of fish food and sprinkle it on the mermaids.
Sushi.
We should shift gears and go to a different topic.
You mean the fact that we don't have anything to talk about?
I was Googling mermaid communities and stuff to see what's around, but apparently that's under the sea. I don't know.
So it's not as big as I thought it was from that statement or two. Okay.
It may be, but you got to be in the know. And I don't know.
And in no way am I Mer Network Forum. No, that's why there isn't any, because mermaids avoid the network.
I got that dad joke for free.
No, good times. It's but with the fairy thing, what costumes are you guys thinking about for MarsCon? What outfits?
I don't know. Andrea said she'd help me make mine.
Oh yeah, I have stuff. I'm gonna make more wings. Other than these, I need smaller ones because.
So you don't smack the crap out of people.
Hmm?
So you don't smack the crap out of people.
Not accidentally. No.
That's true.
I want to do that on purpose. No, I have an outfit already.
I've been told I pull off gay man very well, so I'm just very all the time.
Don't say pull off gay men.
I said a gay man. There's only one in there.
I want to make an outfit for. Well,
Out
I
there.
want to put together an outfit for you, Mo.
You are? Okay. Look at that.
There you go.
You took on a whole bunch of extra work because neither of us like wearing costumes, so it'll be fun.
Yeah, but this can be pieces you can use for everyday stuff too.
Okay.
Here's my thought. By the way, Des says you could get bigger wings. I think Des is encouraging you to smack the crap out of people. I
might make some.
I have 2 ideas so far. One, I want to get in my purple zoot suit, carry my violin case, and put on a pair of wings and be the fairy godfather.
That'll happen.
The other
yes.
one, I want to be a garden gnome.
That can happen too.
So I think I think the only garden gnome accoutrement I really need besides stuff I pull out of my closet is the cone hat.
A dunce hat. I thought you already had one of those.
No, it's just in my nature, but I don't actually own one. I have a fez, which could be a dunce cap cut short.
Mine's shorter than most.
I have the short hat dunce cap.
Just wear a party hat, like a happy birthday hat. Be like, it's a tiny one.
I'll be like, it fit when I was gnome size.
Yes. A giant gnome. Well, no, I can do a hat. I can make a hat pretty easy for that.
So I feel like I should have something I carry with me. Should it be like a shovel, a pickaxe?
You want something not really a weapon. I was thinking you could push around a wheelbarrow, carry all my stuff.
No.
And you
We're
at
thinking
times, yeah.
A sack of glitter that you can.
Get
Oh God, that'll never go away.
A hotel would never let us back.
That's okay. It's about to blow up over there anyway.
Well, because gnomes garden gnomes and stuff, you can have little flowers. Excuse me, little flowers with Talk of the Tavern cards attached and pass them out.
There we go. Can do that. You know what I could do is I can get my tool belt and just attach my gardening tools to it. That's nice and simple.
You can watch out. They'll put you to work then.
They'll be like, oh, back into the mulch, you bastard. By the way, Des says with the small hat, I grew up and they kicked me out of the Gnome Guild.
Oh.
That's very sad. Yeah. No, okay, that sounds like I have 2 outfits. There we go.
Oh, hey Mo, this lace back here is stuff you and your mom gave me.
Yay!
And it's going to be part of a costume also. Right now it's just hanging, so I remember. We'll have to get together so I can design some wings for you. So,
for who? Exciting. For us? For 2 people?
Yeah.
We can each get one of the wings.
And we'll say that you were plucked.
They're broken.
A mother plucker. What?
Mo wants teriyaki wings.
Yeah. Actually, we got General Tso's wings yesterday. They were really good.
Oh.
Not spicy, though. They were more orange. They were good, don't get me wrong. But
we should get a plastic cup and fill it with buffalo wings and walk around going, I have fairy wings.
Oh my gosh, you could be like General, what's his name? Colonel Sanders, but as a fairy with a bucket of wings.
Fairy Sanders.
See, the hard part is getting the all-white suit, but yeah, I could do. So it'd be KFC, which would be Kentucky Fairy Wings.
Yes.
Or Killed Fairy. Well, no, the last C. W is not a C. Hold on. Kentucky Fried. No, what?
Kentucky. Or what? Killed, fried, covered up. Carcass.
They could. You'll come up with something. We'll think of it.
Ketchup fairy carcass.
Well, how about this? We find different things that the KFC could be. Like, for example, if there was an L, we could use leprechaun. If there was a B, we could use brownie. So what's some other fairy types that begin with the letter K and the letter C?
Kelpie.
Kelpie, fairy,
yes.
And Coatl.
Centaur.
Yeah, centaurs were getting back to those mushrooms. No.
No.
I've seen that in a comic book with a fairy too.
Yeah.
No. No. Ew.
See.
We could go South American and go with the Kotal, which is a large, winged, flying, feathered serpent.
Yeah.
Go ahead, do it.
I can consult my notebook.
There you go.
My fairy,
see.
my fairy books are somewhere else. But
There are some out there, but I can't think of what the hell.
Yeah.
It's.
I feel like this is when I need to go pick up my Magical Beasts and Where to Find Them textbook.
yes. Yes. Or you can just use the Google.
Actually, I tell you what. Let's do a refill break, which is going to be the new refill break. And then we'll be back here. I'll grab my fairy book. We'll be back.
Alrighty.
Okay, mute yourselves.
Hi. I'm Elizabeth.
And now, for the continuing adventures of the Bus Wanker.
What are we doing? Okay, so who's doing the opening line and the rest join in?
We're getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern. Whoop!
Elizabeth from New York, and I'm getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern. Woo, baby! Forget the train. I gotta get home so I can get toasted on Talk of the Tavern. You're not gonna get the LOL. I'm telling you right now, you're not gonna get it. Keep that to know. I just want to get toasted. Talk of the Tavern. I won't want nobody paying on the train. Come on. I just want to get toasted on Talk of the Tavern. Come on.
I'm pinching his butt.
You got toasted at Talk of the Tavern. I'm smacking the ass. Smack the ass. Smack the ass. Oh, smack it.
He's getting toasted for Talk of the Tavern.
Oh my. We're all together. And guess what we're going to do? We're going to get toasted at Talk of the Tavern.
Yeah, baby.
I was hoping we'd do that in unison.
Talk of the Tavern!
I'm getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern. Crap! Another French press broken. Well, what are you going to do? I'll tell you what you're going to do. Stainless steel, baby. And now I'm all ready to get toasted on Talk of the Tavern. Cheers! Look at all the beauty. Just makes me think about getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern. Yeah. Hey, this is Pickle Lady up in New York. And I got toasted on Talk of the Tavern. Cheers! I'm at my school. They're rehearsing. And all I can think about is getting toasted at Talk of the Tavern. Oh!
So, looking forward to getting toasted on Talk of the Tavern.
We're getting toasted at
Talk of the Tavern!
Hey, bienvenidos a la Talk of the Tavern! Hey, getting toasted. Yeah.
There we go, and that was our new refill break, front to back, beginning to end. And it's great because in my list I have refill break listed, and then that one I named Refill Elizabeth, not realizing the connotation with it. I did go get, you guys might remember talking about Brian Froud earlier. This is Brian Froud's Faerie book from the 70s, 80s. And I did find for Kay, we got Knock Grafton.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking for more.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see Toey's comment?
Kelt Yucky Fried Changelings. I like it. It might end up being that. It's simple, etc. Okay, now here's the Desmond's of Fairy Worlds. So let's see if we can find something here.
Do we have a Jack Russell Terrier we can borrow?
God, I hope not. Why?
In Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, there is a Crup, C-R-U-P, and it looks like a Jack Russell Terrier, except it has a forked tail.
Oh, well.
Although, I guess wizard owners are obliged to remove the Crup's tail with a painless severing charm while the Crup is 6 to 8 weeks old, lest muggles notice it.
That's very sad.
Okay, I've got it, but I think I'd rather go with what Toei suggested there. Hold on a second, I gotta write it down and then attempt
to
pronounce it. Huh?
Have you heard of the Squished Fairy books?
Yes.
Not talking to you.
Fine.
Oh,
no.
No, there are books. It's called the Squished Fairy books. And I was thinking of them because my friend, who passed away a few years ago, she had all these books, and we used to read them, and then we would color fairy coloring books, and it was so great. I just miss her sometimes. She was fun. We would put on fairy wings and dress up and run around, and she was almost 80 years old. I'm going to be like her when I grow up.
Yeah, and she was doing it on purpose, not because she was senile.
No, she was just fun.
Andrea was senile.
We don't tell people that.
What are you doing, Ma?
I'm searching my phone. I'm doing the Google thing.
The Google?
I gave you a Celtic book, and you go to the Google.
You gave her a what book?
They gave me my Celtic Myths, Celtic Legends book.
That'd be
The
Celtic.
basketball group?
That'd be Celtic.
I'm like, Celtics is a basketball team.
I've read these stories.
Oh,
There's
yes,
lots of mushrooms in them, if you know what I mean. So...
Okay, Toei corrected me. It's pressed fairy books.
Correct.
Ah.
Yeah.
Those I
smushed, squashed.
Well, they are. They're
Pressed.
squished.
Iron.
They're fresh press.
Okay, I have something here about hags, and there's one paragraph that says, some turn, like winter into spring, from hideously ugly old women into beautiful young maidens, and others, like Black Anus, are cannibalistic.
Okay.
So stay away from
A cannibal anus? I'm very scared.
stay away from the Black Anus. Some are cannibalistic.
Yeah.
It's actually anise. It's ANNIS. But what's the fun in talking about anise?
Are
Mm-hmm.
trollops a thing from like actual fairydom, or is it something that like an author made up? Huh?
Okay, trollop.
Trolls and trollops are from
Myth.
What's his name?
Robert Aspirin. Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote all those
myth books.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's
the original definition of a trollop. It was a slang for a loose woman, a woman who sleeps around, and it came from either late 1800s or early 1900s. But Robert Aspirin in the 70s and 80s, when he's writing the Myth series, had trolls, and then he had female trolls were trollops. And of course, it was a play on words also, because they were very sexy and seductive, so they were trollops.
Yeah. The trolls were ugly and whatever, and they're
Yeah. Why do you know all these useless crap? It's years of experience, dear. That's what it is, Toey.
I like those books.
They're great books.
They're fun.
So did I.
I have most of them. But so far we have Knock, Grafton, Furdaring, Clurican, Kobolds, or Kelpie could also be used for K. For other Cs we have Coblinam. So like I said, I think Keltiucky Fried Changelings is a better way to go. Otherwise people just be like, you just spit words on me. Oh, here's another Kilmolus. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go with the real... Oh, there's an F. The Phenodary. It's a naked little hairy guy. Known for cutting lawns with a scythe. Just like me. Naked, hairy, cutting a lawn. I'm not hairy.
These are dragons.
Yeah, they are. Well done, Brian. Those are... He's now into the sexy fairies.
Under F in Fantastic Beasts, you could use a Fwooper.
I had one of those earlier, but I think I ate something funny the night before.
Okay. Or a fire crab.
I've never
Heavily
had
bejeweled
those.
shell.
Hey, they were in Moana.
Yeah, they were. I like it.
Yeah,
it shoots flames from its rear end when attacked.
I've had friends like that. It's not a pretty sight. Oh, here's the dark and scary one. What, did it have something about mushrooms?
I was trying not to go to mushrooms while reading it. It's the flobberworm. The flobberworm lives in damp ditches. A thick brown worm reaching to 10 inches in length. It moves very little. One end is indistinguishable from the other, both producing mucus, from which its name is derived. It is sometimes used to thicken potions.
You know J.K. Rowling had to be thinking about a penis when making that thing up. There is no question. You don't just write that and somebody else go, you know what this sounds like? No, I never thought of that.
But it only eats lettuce and vegetation.
So bush is what you're telling me.
Yes.
And it lives in moist crevices.
Yeah.
Yeah. While eating a bush.
You know, she said her books were not meant for children.
Yes, she did. Okay, I'm almost done with this book. You know, I never... Don't tell Brian.
Andrea looks like she just disagrees with all of us. She's just disapproving. Just...
Oh, that's the sound of a candy wrapper of an Almond Joy. I thought I recognized that.
No, you didn't bring enough for everybody.
There wasn't even enough for me to have any. I mean, we only had like that many. A handful.
Can you eat it?
No.
Here we go.
But they wanted the option, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Just the option.
Option.
So,
Yes.
I'm just thinking fairy costumes.
What do you got? What are you thinking? Because I've got mine down. I'm good.
We're not talking about you.
I'm thinking glitter.
You want glitter, Mo? Really?
Obviously.
Oh, God.
Holographic glitter everywhere. In every dark crevice.
Yeah, glitter will go in every dark crevice. Promise.
And never come out. You'll find it 10 years later.
Rainbows.
Oh, gosh.
There is a character
glitter.
in Trolls that when it farts, it blows glitter everywhere.
Yes!
Maybe we could just
That's me.
dress.
Okay, we will get you one of the fart rays and some glitter. Squeeze it.
I was working at a Steampunk Life the other day, and I don't want to say elderly, but an older couple came up to me, and we had like 4 fart guns differently done behind me, and the lady's like, "Can I see one of those?" And I was like, "Sure." And so I brought it down, and I'm holding it. She's like, "So exquisite. I love it. I love it." And I was just sitting there smiling, and then I pulled the trigger. While her face was like looking at it. And the husband laughed.
Oh, that's
and he went, "Happy Mother's Day, honey."
Oh, that's fabulous.
That is part of being a mother, getting farted on.
Yep, just part.
Well, thank God it's not all of it. Otherwise, motherhood would be so much more popular.
There's worse.
Oh, there is.
It's not just fart.
No.
Not when you're a mother.
It's
I don't know. I've been farted on, and I'm not a mother.
But what about work?
Stuck on. And I don't mean that in a sexy way.
So Toey's curious and says, "Let me guess, no sale?"
She didn't buy that. They bought fans. And I was like, "God, get rid of the fart."
That's right.
And he laughed again, and
You're
she was just like over me by then, I think.
You should have both, because they go together.
It's a set.
That's right.
It works. It works.
Oh,
so, Mo, you want to be the glitter fart fairy? I got it.
Yes.
Can we just put a bunch of glitter in a turkey baster? Give it to Mo.
Go run.
Oh, I can't be responsible after that.
I'll be like, the lady who does the costume contest gave this to me.
No.
I said, "Go, be free, live your life."
I don't want anyone to think, like, there's this thing on Tumblr, and I'm not sure if it's made it past Tumblr, where it's like, if anyone misgenders me, I'll throw glitter in their face. I don't want anyone to think I'm doing that. But I could if I wanted to.
It's good to have the option.
Always. Glitter is always an option.
No. Oh, God. No.
Not at funerals.
Oh,
Well,
especially at funerals.
I think outdoor
There you
funerals,
go.
it should be
Especially
a
at
gift.
that one lady's. Yeah, your friend.
Yeah.
She would have enjoyed
You
it.
know what her name was?
I think I should, because I've heard about her.
Gay.
Her name is Gay. For real.
I love her.
And her name was Gay Nell. And she had a friend named Frank. And she's like, "I'll be gay with you if you're frank with me." And she used to say that to my son, too. He didn't get it at the time. He'd probably get it now.
Maybe, maybe not. Hard to say. Depends on the day. So let's see here. Okay, so let's see. We talked about the anthology. We discussed fairy stuff. So actually, you know what? Mo, what's your thoughts on fairies? Real?
On fairies?
Real or not?
I believe in a bunch of stuff. I don't want to say I don't believe in something. And
you
I
believe
don't.
in magic?
Yes.
I believe in magic.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna say.
I wasn't gonna sing because this voice doesn't work yet. Not for singing, at least.
I'm singing, and this voice doesn't work for singing.
I haven't figured this one out. I'm breaking it in still. But I have always believed in, like, ghosts and angels, and there's all those little wise tales that everyone said, especially my Nana would say, where, like, when the cardinals come to your yard, it's a past one visiting, and, you know, depending on which side of the rose plant the roses bloomed meant certain things, and they were like indicators of a world outside of our own. And so it's not that I just never had to think about just fairies on their own. I was like, I believe in it all, you know? And I feel a little bit like that about religion as well, and we've had longer discussions about that, where it's like, it's not like I don't believe, I consider myself, you know, Christian or whatever, but it's not like I don't believe the Hindu teachings, or I don't believe the Hindu works of literature, or the Shinto or the Jain or anything. It's just different ways of explaining the same things.
I find it funny that people who do believe in supernatural occurrences, whether it's, you know, I do know some people that believe vampires absolutely are real things and they really exist. Ghosts, UFOs, Bigfoot, whatever. But if you ask them, do you believe in fairies? They'd be like, no, that's silly. I don't think believing in anything without scientific proof, it's hard for me to understand why you would judge somebody else for believing something you don't.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all I've got on that. It's all. I'm sorry, I thought Andrea was raising her hand. I was all like, Andrea's going to speak.
I had an itch, but I'm open to possibility, to the possibility of things, because you never know.
Sometimes.
Well,
yeah, a lot of
big. No, go, Ma.
A lot of times, if you're not looking for something, you're not going to see it. So if you have this absolute disbelief in something, it's not even going to be there. I mean, you can be walking along with somebody, and they'll say, "Hey, did you see that dog?" And you didn't see it because you weren't looking for it. All right. Does that mean that dog's not there? That dogs don't exist because you didn't see it? No. So I think that there's a lot of things that we don't know. And like Travis, like you said, it's possible that it's all the same thing or different versions, variations. And it's just in how you perceive it and how you describe it as how, you know, what it actually is.
Well, how many times?
Well,
go ahead, Andrea.
I was going to say, this is how I look at the different religions. Okay. It's all ultimately the same. But you can ask someone to look, like 10 different people to look at a picture, and they all see different things. That's kind of how I see the religion and things like that.
Definitely. I agree. 3,012%. I was going to say that why would something hang around with someone that doesn't believe in it, you know? Like, why would a fairy go and visit someone that doesn't believe in fairies?
You know, and now I'm going to turn
except
this
to cause
back on
trouble.
you. Keep in mind.
Why would you go visit someone that doesn't like you? Same thing.
That's what I was.
I try not to visit people that don't like me. It got quiet. You could be Bilbo Baggins.
He's not a fairy. He's a
Me?
hobbit.
But he's a hobbit. He's a changeling.
I'll be a
Halfling.
dwarf.
There we go.
I'll be one of those sex-changing elves.
What are those things called?
Elves.
I don't remember.
Hold
Elves.
I'm going to be a dwarf
It's from
Sunday.
a specific game. I was so happy with that.
A few things I was going to say is, Mo, when you said, why would something hang out with somebody that doesn't believe in them? And that is life advice right there. And I was later rephrased, why hang out with somebody who doesn't like you? But even somebody who does like you, who does not support you and believe that you can fill your dreams, that's a negative influence on your life. And I'm not looking at you in particular. I'm just...
Speaking of that, Monday's show is positive and negative energy, so
not
kind of
this
along
week.
the same lines.
Not next week,
No.
the week after.
Oh, what is this?
What's next week?
Oh, yeah, never mind.
It's consent culture versus call-out culture, towing the line. And with that one, we'll cover anywhere from taking personal responsibility to victim blaming to the hype behind any given social movement, social justice warriors, etc. So it's a good topic, but it's one of those frustrating topics because you can't educate somebody on balance. It's something they have to come to on their own.
Yeah.
You can't educate someone who has a closed mind and it's like, my way is right, I don't want to hear your anything.
Something else I was going to say earlier is, how many people do you know that said they have experienced a ghost and they were terrified? And they go back the next day and it was the coat on the chair, or they figured out it was a tree branch on the window, or they can't explain it, but they're no longer scared. So I would propose that perhaps that shadowy, or that light in the dark that disappears around the corner, or that bump in the night, or whatever, if it doesn't have a mundane explanation that you can find, perhaps it's not a ghost, perhaps it is a fairy. Or, the bottom line is, perhaps it's something you shouldn't fear. And I'm not
Or something
be,
you really need to fear.
It could be.
I mean, it could be your mind, too, just like with someone, two different people looking at the same thing. It could be that. You're just seeing it different.
There is a possibility. It's something else to keep in mind, and I've always been open and curious about that. When, for example, if I was in the woods with Karen and she says, "Do you smell that?" I smell something. Well, either A, she is experiencing something outside of my realm of experiencing, so I can't experience it, and that could be because she's sensitive to these things, or it could be a brain tumor. You don't know. And until you...
My grandmother got very religious when she got brain tumors.
A lot of folks, as they get older, naturally get more religious. My mother was very much in disagreement with the church and the Christian faith in general, but I tell you what, once she got past 60, it was amazing how that stuff started to creep in. Still anti-church, but a little more pro-God. And so there you go. And again,
we'd come into our house and my Nana would have on like the Catholic broadcasting service on the television, and she'd be like chanting along with the Latin hymns, and I'm like, is this demonic possession or is this like angelic singing? It's Latin, it's chanting.
It's all in
she
how
doesn't
you look
have
at
a
it.
rosary.
You've seen
It's
the
all
meme.
in how you look at it and if you've seen Supernatural.
It's you've seen the meme that says Latin is a dead language because they kept on accidentally summoning demons while ordering lunch.
I love that.
Yeah.
There's a post, and it's like someone wrote this tiny story in a post, and every time I read it, I want to do something with it, but it's like a completed story on its own, and it's, you accidentally draw a demonic summoning circle when you randomly put mustard on your sandwich for your lunch, and so a demon pops up, and you don't know what to do with him, and so you just hand him the sandwich, and he leaves with the sandwich, and suddenly you got the promotion at your work, and every once in a while a demon pops up, and you give him a sandwich, because demons don't get home-cooked sandwiches.
That would be a great story for a fairy working at a restaurant.
Yeah, that's your fairy story right there.
Yep.
That's you just changed demon to fairy. It's that simple, and then you expand on it wherever it wants to go. Are you writing this down? Because I don't see a pen moving. You're going to tell me, oh no, I'll remember it.
I'll remember it.
You can just rewind the broadcast. It's all right.
I'll write it on my mermaids.
Last time I wrote on a mermaid, I got smacked.
Well, it's either that or a unicorn.
Either one.
I'm going with the unicorn. There's more space.
Or you can pull up a Word document on your computer and start typing it right now.
My computer can't do more than one thing at once.
Oh, and it's Skyping right now. I forgot. I'm like, what is it doing right now? It's
It's not doing anything important.
I'm not being critical, but I'm genuinely curious. Why don't you two have better computers?
Momo's is brand new.
Nice, brand new gaming computer.
And it can only do one thing at a time?
Yes.
Did you break it?
No.
And it's very nice?
It is very nice.
But it can only do one thing at a time?
Yep.
Did you break it?
No.
I'm in a loop here. I'm in a loop. I don't know where else to go with this.
I don't know what's up with it, and I'm just pretending it doesn't exist at the moment.
Tara, what's
problems?
She
has my old computer.
I have Bo's old computer from like 3 computers ago.
Yeah.
We got Momo this computer, and it was new for school, and I had my old one, and this came with Windows 8.
Mm-hmm.
They really couldn't handle Windows 8, so they took my Windows 7 machine. It was only maybe a year older, and this thing hasn't broke yet. And since, for the most part, all I do is check email and stuff like that on it and write, no reason to get a new one yet.
The problem with that computer is you can't get to any of the settings. So I was doing things that I wanted to get into Devices Manager. I wanted to get into audio settings, and you can't do it in that computer. It does not allow it. You can go to settings, you can type in Device Manager, you can do all this stuff. It will not let you into the back door of that computer because of the way it was put together. And so I just got really frustrated with it to the point where I just stopped.
It's a Toshiba.
It is.
Yeah.
See, Tara, I was going to say to you, now you've answered my question, so I don't have the follow-up of, yeah, I know what you do on a computer. Creeper. But yeah, you don't do all the art programs or all the gaming programs, so you don't need, and that's what I was going to say, if you get a new one, you could get one that does everything you need for $300. And that's like a terabyte hard drive and 8 to 16 gigs of RAM. You can walk out of a store, any store, with a base model that does all that. But no, yours is still working. Is it a laptop? Yeah. By the way, there's a cardinal on my front porch, just so you know. It's a female.
Oh,
somebody's visiting you.
Yeah, I don't know Demi
Probably
dead people.
Hannah.
Oh, it could be. Probably stop.
Tell her to come this way.
It's a long flight.
Go that way.
She didn't get any exercise in when she was alive. She's making up for it now.
That's a zombie story.
Oh, yeah.
That's the other one I keep looking at. There's another post. Again, I like Tumblr because there's a lot of really thoughtful things that everyone's like, and the thing is, they're posting it at like 3 a.m., so they think nothing of it. And I read it later and go, oh, there's a thing going on here. And it was someone said, can there be a ghost and a zombie of the same person?
Yes.
And then someone was like, there should totally be like a comedy show where it's just the ghost floating around after the zombie being like, dude, you're going to run into... No, you can't go that... trying to get the zombie out of all of these horrible situations.
See, I think it should be more like a Martin and Lewis movie. With the ghost being Martin. Or, no, the other one. Yeah, Martin. And then the zombie being like Jerry Lewis. With the slapstick comedy and everything.
Yeah, loses the hand and...
Yeah, I think this would be great. And played by the same actor. I think Eddie Murphy's available, but I don't recommend it. He likes doing movies
That'd
where
be
he plays
amazing.
every role. Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be fun.
It's just cheaper that way. More cost efficient.
After Medea's funeral, there we go. Because what's his name?
Martin
That does
Tyler
Medea?
Perry.
Yeah, because he
Tyler
does that. He does the same thing. Plays a lot of the different sub characters in his movies. That would be, and he'd be funny too.
Yeah.
Hold on, we're writing this down to give it to Elizabeth.
True.
Speaking of writing, we have a contest going on now for an audio drama. The submissions are due June 30th. We need one scene taking place in a pub or a bar with 4 characters and 1 narrator. We can also do sound effects, so
Now, is
send
there
them
a-
in. talkathetavern@gmail.
And it could be any time era, so it could be a medieval bar, fantasy bar, speakeasy, modern.
You pick.
And so,
Does that mean 4 characters including the narrator, or 4 characters, plus a narrator?
And a narrator, because there's
Okay.
5 of us, so one will take turns reading. And hey, you can do a fairy bar, mermaid bar, whatever.
of either side. You could do a sandbar so mermaids could be in it.
Yeah. And if we choose you, we will act it out on air, live, and give you props.
We'll
Like
have
actual
props.
props?
No, verbal props.
Wings.
Exactly. I want a huge sucker.
Well, hey, I've got 3 of them. Do you really want one?
No, Travis, stop it.
That's
I
a no,
can't
Travis.
Red, so
Do you really want one of these?
I don't want to take them if they're yours.
What if they're
I'll
mine?
give
Do
you
you want
one. I
one
don't
then?
need 3 of them. Well, and I'll get more because they come out around Halloween or Easter or something, and there's like filled with lollipops. These are empty.
These are so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want one.
And there's like
You're
20
part
or
of my
30
airship crew.
I
I'll
am
give you
part of
one.
the airship crew.
Yeah, I'll give you one.
Airship lollipop.
Aha. See,
could-
I have this lollipop.
You could just walk around with that lollipop propped on your hip, so it's a very phallic-looking thing as you walk around bumping into people. You just stand behind people and they'll feel...
Hey, I have gobstoppers that are blue. They're bombs with, Twizzler, what do you call it?
fuses.
Fuses. And I carry these blue gobstopper balls in a sack around my waist.
So she's got her huge...
If you were a gnome, it could be pine cones. You could be its potpourri.
You know, if you do bump people in the head with your huge lollipop, when they turn around and go, "What are you doing?" Go, "Would you like some nut milk?"
I'm all out.
You need to carry the
Whatever.
empty container and just go, "Nut milk."
I've had so many containers of this at this point.
And you'll always need one more.
Always. I bought 2 of them 2 days ago, and that was the end of the second.
Oh,
It's like Andrea
That's so
coffee
sad.
creamer.
what? I don't know what you're talking about. I put it in my coffee, people. I don't just drink the bottle of creamer.
I was going to ask that.
My
I
dad
know.
when Nana passed, he had to use creamer for his milk for his cereal in the morning. He's like, it's thicker than you're supposed to be.
I've done that before.
I think there's a container of plain creamer still in the back of the fridge, and I've not touched it yet.
It'll be cheese.
Mm-hmm. See, this is why I don't drink skim milk, because it's the wrong consistency. It's just too thin.
And that's why we didn't drink 2% milk.
Yeah, I like whole milk.
Straight from the cow.
It's It's like 3.5% fat. That is not straight from the cow.
See, but I don't have to buy the cow because a neighbor has one.
I didn't want
Get
it
the
to
milk
yard.
for free.
Do you just go over there and go?
I wait till it's hiding under the back of my house.
Okay.
Yeah.
You've heard
So,
that story,
that's
right?
what you're doing under the house.
Oh, you
Yeah,
haven't-
we saw the pictures.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, you do remember. Okay.
Yes. I
So has
remember
anybody-
the cow.
Has anybody ever drunk raw milk?
Yeah.
Did you
I don't
like it?
No.
Yeah.
Not my thing.
Not with the yellow, like, globs of fat on the top and the cream and...
I don't
There
know.
was.
I'm
We're
sure
watching.
Dad has.
We're watching Mad Men, and there's a scene where the guy pours a glass of milk, and yeah, it's
lumpy.
It's got that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Andrew's like, oh, what is that? I'm like, I think it's real milk.
Split.
That's 1961.
I'm spoiled
Yeah.
that way. Hey, do you guys have chainsaw? Do you have a chainsaw?
Do we have a chainsaw? I know Grandpa has like 40.
I believe we have a chainsaw.
Does it
Do
work?
we need firewood?
Yeah, do you need firewood?
But even if you don't want the firewood, I just want to use a chainsaw as the bottom line. You could take the wood if you want it. I
I don't want to have to buy a chainsaw just to...
Yeah, no, I think we have one. I will speak to the Dave when he gets home.
Oh, let us know,
Dave
and then...
is over by Nana's chair.
Hello, the Dave. I meant the one that talks back, you know.
Okay. The Dave is a type of table at IKEA. I'm sorry. We have two of them in our house. We've got a black one and a white one. So we have a black Dave and a white Dave.
Like you should. Well, see, here's the thing. If you have a chainsaw and we come out, though, you got to let me know which lollipop you want.
Okay, I'll bring you guys stuff too, because I've been collecting things.
Andrew, you should bring both
Weirdo.
and then open them up and take out all the red ones and replace them from the other one.
What?
I thought they were all empty.
It's empty.
Oh, they're empty. Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, no, they just want a lollipop, and I don't want it.
Okay. Yeah, you don't need 3.
I'm gonna fill it with random stuff and just be like,
Yeah.
Well, because see,
Like dice or something.
if you open it, there's like a plastic thing with holes in it for the lollipops.
So I should put red pepper flakes in there. Shake it, shake it, shake it.
Whatever.
And I'd be like, it's spicy up in here.
Would you like some fresh ground pepper on your salad?
Well, the cool thing about
It's the spicy glitter.
You can take this stick out and put like a dowel rod in to make it like a staff. That's what I do.
I'm still gonna say spicy glitter. I'll get some garlic glitter too.
Oh, yeah, put some glitter in here and you can go boop.
Okay, so this makes no sense, but I went to the Virginia Stage Company's not Nightmare Before Christmas, A Christmas Carol.
Uh-huh.
And
same thing.
There was the Christmas present guy. So the Ghost of Christmas Present had this huge scepter that was covered in like gold glitter, and he was walking so like majestically around stage. There was no glitter, and finally the guy was like, "What is your scepter for?" And he goes, "For whatever I want." And did it in his face, and just all of the glitter all over the guy. He was like, "You'll never get rid of me now." It was great. And then when I went to the other show, which was the Hounds of the Baskervilles, it was amazing. And the same guy who played the Ghost of Christmas Present played Watson in that one, and he was hilarious and super gay. And I was so proud of him. I go to the Virginia Stage Company quite often, actually.
It sounds like a good time.
It is. It really is. It's so wonderful.
I avoid
It's hilarious.
letting men slap me in the face with their scepters and leave stuff on me that it's hard to get off.
I mean, that's exactly what it was, though. It was hilarious. I loved it so much. And then we went to one at the Sandler Center, and I did not enjoy it. And I've just decided I can only go to the theater over at the Virginia Stage Company right now, because I just did not enjoy it. I don't want to make my experience off of one, but I've been to 3 in recent years, and they've all been super sexist. And I was like, it's just because we're at the other city.
That's one of the things it's fun about Mad Men, because they purposely worked in the sexism from the 60s that even
that really happened.
Yeah, our generation doesn't even realize it was really like that. And then as you're watching, you're like, wait, that thing right there still happens. You're like,
yes.
Okay, so we're not really through this yet, are we, guys? Come on. The guys in the broad spectrum term. Not gender specific.
Guys with an A. Meaning gays.
No, just meaning people.
Just meaning people.
Whatever orientation, gender, etc. Don't care.
Just call everybody dude.
Dude.
It's funny, Elizabeth was telling us a story, and she mentioned her girlfriend in front of her class. I was hanging out with my girlfriend, and the class was like, and she's like, what? And they're like, you have a girlfriend? She's like, no, she's a girl, she's my friend. So this is what's happened now. Women can no longer use the term girlfriend about their female friends without it seeming like there is a romantic connection. Which men haven't been able to do that ever. We've never been able to say, I have a boyfriend, without them going, and I feel like that's backsliding. I don't...
Yeah.
I feel like we've lost a valid term here.
Well, men aren't allowed to have, men and women aren't really allowed to have just friends of the opposite sex without somebody implying that there's more to the relationship. Right. So,
at least we can still use gal pal.
Straight out of Aberdeen. Thank you for the host. Appreciate that. Good to see ya. It's and by the way, Toei says the only safe acceptable group expression is now inhabitants of Earth. If I'm not trying to take over the planet...
I know people that'd be offended by that shit.
That's right. Possibly the fairy community who's like, I'm not from Earth. I'm part fairy.
No, they inhabit it. They inhabit.
That's true, inhabitants. You're living
here,
right? You got a place?
What about those on the International Space Station?
Well, they're not here, so it don't matter.
Yes, Andrea?
Many moons ago, when I was applying for college and it said race, I put other and wrote in human. So, there you go.
Indeed. Straight out of Aberdeen. That's funny. I assume it's like a play on the Straight Out of Compton. Now I just want to find out what an Aberdeen gang is like.
Oh.
It's better than Gabardine. That's different, right?
Oh.
That's a fabric.
I know. Straight out of Gabardine.
Does it show where there's a...
Through a rip or a pleat or a...
Oh, I'm thinking Velcro pants. Andrea, what show were you going to tell us about?
I wasn't. I was going to say, does it show who hosted? I don't even see it on the chat.
It does. It's between the last two statements of Talking Toei. It is just gray text.
Oh, no. It just popped up because Toei had the 2 and then this popped up. I get it.
Gotcha. Well, this
My
one
internet.
is now a follow.
It's internet.
Thank you for the follow also, Straight Out of it. Here's to you coming around more often than before.
Here.
Straight out of Gabardine.
Don't make me laugh again. I'm trying to drink water. I'll choke again.
I can make that one hand gesture you like so much.
What are you doing? No.
Quick drink.
I was trying to see if I could block the light behind my mother.
Hey, you guys.
It's there you go. That's a follow. I'm wanting to set it up with my co-host that we all get the same bottle, even if it's an empty bottle, or fill it with tea or whatever.
Yes.
And then we go like, I've given my drink here, and then Andrea would reach off screen and bring hers in. It's I appreciate that,
This
Aberdeen.
may happen.
It's Aberdeen says I love talk shows, so I thought I'd give you a cheeky host. We are in our third hour, so it's a very relaxed, laid-back hour, and we just chit-chat. So if you have comments, we definitely interact with the audience, unless we have a guest that we're giving more attention to than we give to ourselves. So yeah, glad
And
to have
today's topic was fairies.
you. And if you didn't,
That's how I got here on accident. They summoned me. They said it 3 times.
That's right. We put mustard on our sandwich, and Mo popped up.
Yeah.
And a puff of
And
glitter.
since it was gluten-free and lactose-free cheese with real mustard, they took it.
I've got a mustard for
And
you.
I lost a sandwich.
We found
Mustard.
a great Irish mustard at Wegmans, and
Yeah.
it's very. It's a phrase out of a film. Okay.
Okay. Which one?
Which phrase or straight out of Aberdeen?
Which film?
Oh,
Which
my
film?
bad. Never mind. It's
I'm not talking to you.
fine. Be that way. I don't want to talk to you anyway. Tough talk show when we don't
No,
talk to each
I know
other.
your Twitch name. But which film is it from? Educate us. Okay.
And how do you
Have
feel
you?
about
Have
that?
you?
Go on.
Continue. I'm being dumb.
Oh, like I wasn't?
Well, this is your talk show. You can be as dumb as you want.
Irish mustard.
Irish
That's
mustard.
awesome.
Yeah, it's very.
I think we can have it.
Probably. We picked it up in Wegmans in the international section. I guess it's not really an Irish section. It's a British section, but it has, really good. Nice and spicy, but not like that nose tingle burn, but that nice, warm, full, rich
wasabi mustard.
Kind of.
And then while we were there, I got a beer that Elizabeth recommended. And the next week, our German guests were drinking that beer.
It was a grapefruit beer, and it was actually really good.
And refreshing.
Mom's making faces. 'Cause she's like, I like grapefruit, but I don't like beer.
Yeah.
I don't like beer either, Tara. And this is really okay. Straight out of Compton. I know the movie. No, Tara, I'm not a beer person either. I think I have an allergy to it, but this was really good.
You treat your allergies like I do. They're just guideline suggestions.
I tried it. Like, I can't really drink a beer, but I can take a couple sips and be okay. It was good. It's what the bicyclists drink when they want a beer, but nothing heavy. So.
Okay.
I'm making the cat eat because Straight Out Aberdeen put nom nom nom, and the cat will say nom nom nom.
Oh, is that a good
Oh, Boo Boo, you're here. Come here.
Me?
Is Dave home?
No.
Oh,
heck no.
Boo-Boo.
Boo, come here, Boo.
I have to shush. We're in your ears.
Thank you. It's okay. Aberdeen says the guy on the bottom left looks Kona as fuck.
What is Kona?
I don't know. It's a coffee type. Coffee as fuck.
It's good coffee. Oh, look, there's a cat.
Kitty.
Hi,
It's
cat.
Boo Boo. See? Say hi, Boo Boo.
Boo Boo's like, no.
I could pick up squirrel, but I don't want scratch right now. Really? I only have one cat within reach?
Well, she was in reach until I grabbed her, and then she's like fighting me. She's okay.
I could do my Tarzan call to bring all the cats. It's not a milkshake that brings them to my room.
No.
I'd have to mute so everybody that doesn't know how I do it.
What?
The countryside.
Ah.
Yeah, that is a pretty little calico. She looks so happy.
She's adorable. I love her. She's also old, so be nice to her.
Okay, you know what, Mo? We're talking about the cat, okay?
Yeah,
the cat's also old.
I'm doing the Google for what that means, because I don't know.
Kona?
Aberdeen says it's a countryside meme. I'm not sure that means countryside, like out in the country, or like countryside lemonade. And yes, you can show your pussycat. Absolutely. We're
My
pussy.
cat. My pussy's gone.
No.
Can't find it.
First the mushrooms. Oh my goodness. Such a bad influence.
I didn't say the mushrooms.
Whatever.
Tara looks away.
It didn't happen until you came on here.
Like, yeah, not mine. Nope.
Not your mushroom?
Not my jeans.
Ow. Perhaps you could get some out of Gabardine.
Hey.
Yes.
Not you.
See,
all of my good humor comes from my mother's side of the family. All of my stupid humor comes from my dad's side of the family.
It's a good blend. So does anybody miss corduroy? I mean, really?
I still wear it.
I love corduroy.
Nope.
Starts a fire in between my thighs.
Yeah.
Like that fire crab.
He is cute.
Momo, you've never worn corduroy.
That's okay.
In pants. I think you had a corduroy skirt.
I had a corduroy skirt. It was brown.
And you had a
corduroy
bright
brown.
pink one.
I mean, sometimes they cover it with a different color, but eventually it's brown.
Yeah,
I don't think it came. I think I
Well,
have
I gave you a corduroy tuxedo jacket.
Right, that's what I was about to talk about.
Oh.
I have.
My friend made that.
Yeah, it's a corduroy jacket with tails on it, and the tuxedo cut up front. And I want to say I have, maybe it's just tweed, but I think I might have another corduroy suit jacket. So when I want to cosplay a professor, I just grab a pipe and a corduroy jacket and nothing else.
Nothing else.
Oh my.
I thought you'd at least put the sock garters on.
Oh yeah.
Okay, you're right. So do you guys
sock garters are awesome. All guys
on the
wear.
stream, etc. Do we bring people from our viewers onto the show? Is that what you're asking? There you go.
We had a guest earlier. Karen Kay, the fairy lady out of the UK who does festivals and editor of Fae magazine. We do have guests.
Tara is a guest. Mo, who is once one of our co-hosts, is now considered a guest with extra bonuses. As for pulling people out of our chat and bring them on the show,
I get paid the big bucks for being here.
If you hang out long enough and we get to know you, then there's a chance we'll bring you on for an episode. But I have had bad experiences with bringing random people onto Skype, so no.
Yeah, and there has to be tech check and all that ahead of time because
that's usually
we're not going to do that while we're broadcasting.
They've got a crappy mic and it just makes everything. And we're like, get off the show.
We have a crappy Dave most of the time.
We had one of those on the show. One of the people I'm talking about was named Dave.
Oh, wonderful!
Yeah,
Crappy Dave had a crappy mic.
Yeah, he was
on the show.
He was the one guy who kept on going no homo to everything he said. Yeah, and it's one thing.
It was funny the first 2 times. After that, stop.
I just go full homo. It works.
Yeah, I feel you, Aberdeen. I'm saying it's a possibility, but in general, it's not our practice because we already have guests on the show and all that. So
you're booked up June or something.
Yeah. It's we are booked ahead of time. Monday is booked all the way through August, and the other 3 days a week are all of them.
All the way through July, right? Mostly.
Some are through July. Others are at least halfway through June. So yeah, we tend to book our guests far ahead of time because we're very popular. I mean, had
yes.
award-winning authors that are known around the world. We've in a couple weeks we have a comedian.
We've had filmmakers who put on festivals in New York.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and then we're gonna have. Go ahead.
No, that's it. Oh, for you to watch. No, we constantly have guests. Monday nights are the ones where we have guests least often because there's 5 of us on that show and it gets kind of crowded. But yeah.
And the people on the Monday show are from everywhere, from New York, the mountains, the UK, so you have a variety of people interacting.
Definitely going to get diversity. So yeah, we do have guests almost every show, and the ones that we don't, we just keep ourselves entertained. So as I said, right now we have 2 guests on. Earlier we had a third one, but she had to go after the first hour because she had real life to deal with. So
real life. Who has one of
She's
those?
in another time zone too, so
Yeah, she
it's
was in the
later
UK.
there.
Now we got 5 minutes left. I want to talk about next week's shows. Monday night, 8 o'clock Eastern, we have Consent Culture versus Call Out Culture, Towing the Line. Tuesday, we have our musical guest from the UK, Dale Rolls of BB Black Dog. Wednesday, we have a troll coming on, a literal troll named Scufflemoss. Thursday, again out of the UK, 2 band members, Victor and the Bully, are coming on. So next week I think it's going to be really kind of laid back and relaxed, except for Monday night, which is a very serious topic, but we'll still have fun.
I'm sure you're tired of this question, because I'm sure it's been asked a few times, but I also haven't been listening to the show this week as much as I usually do. Have you guys decided if you're going to redo the Whose Line Is It anyway?
It's going to go back on the schedule, but it's going to be a little bit down the road.
Okay.
So
We'd like to.
Everybody wants to do it again, but we haven't scheduled.
But we're booked up.
So, but we'll put it back in the rotation. And Aberdeen says not looking to come on for you to watch. Yeah, we'll definitely have all kinds of a variety of things to watch. Different guests, all kinds of topics, as you just heard. Anywhere from a steampunk band to a metal band to a troll to today's social issue.
Professional comedian actor.
That's what I was trying to get out earlier. In 2 weeks, we had Brad Williams coming on, who is a professional comedian and actor, and funny guy. And you said, no worries, I like the thought of this. Mate, much love to you. Here's you. Here's our closing toast. Here's to pass around much love.
Wait.
Wait.
Oh, hold on, she's got to get great. Go ahead.
I was going to say who are we going to raid too, but anyway.
Okay, well, just that. Here we go. Much love. Gotta save the last bit for the outro music. And as for who we're gonna raid, because we love to raid people.
Whenever you raid Courtroom or whatever, that guy, I always give him bits, because then when he says my name, he says it in the correct accent, and it sounds amazing.
They live in a different country.
I'm trying.
Looks like, you know what, we got Livy in the middle and Lady of Games on, and I think I'm going to go ahead over to Livy in the middle with some, positive, bright music, and of course they're talented too. So.
They have great music.
They do. And they're like a brother and a sister, and then her boyfriend, who's been a family friend, might not be her boyfriend, but they all 3 play live music right there, their own original stuff as well as covers, and they're great. They're great. Sound beautiful too. So we will raid them in just a minute or two. Let's do this here. Mo, take 60 seconds, pimp your stuff. Then Tara, you'll do the same.
I got 60 seconds. Okay, so I am Mo. I am from portfolimo.tumblr.com. I do art and I do books under Morven Moeller.
Just give him your website and what project you're working on. That's all we're looking for.
Alrighty. I'm working on Dementia, which is a graphic novel bringing the ideas of dementia, Alzheimer's, and terminal cancer to a younger audience for awareness. And to start that conversation earlier, you can find that at facebook.com/dementia.
Tara?
All right, I'm going to pimp my latest full length. And this has some of that mature stuff in it we were talking about earlier. And you can find it at, information at www.dreampunkpress.com.
There you go. And what's your next project?
Next project is of my projects or whatever project.
What's the next thing you have that's coming out? How you doing? I'm
that would be the third in my YA young adult steampunk series that I write as E.G. Gaddis.
There you go. So check that out. That's also on dreampunkpress.com.
Yep. Colleen just can't picture it.
And I myself will be starting a Kickstarter probably tomorrow, which will help fund 4 new books from me. And if I hit the stretch goal, I have 2 other books that are mostly written that then I can pay my editor, who is Tara, if she's willing to edit more, and have 2 more books from this same Kickstarter. So there we go. There's all our project. Andrew, you got a project?
No.
Good. Because we're out of time. We're going to head into the raid. Here's some closing music, guys.
Thanks for joining us in the discussion shenanigans tonight. You're the one thing that makes the show what it is. Don't forget to join us at the tavern next week. Until then, have fun, keep learning, and be good to one another. Now, raise your glass in good cheer. Enjoy the small moments every day and steamy dreams every night.
You're adorable.
13 years of dance didn't go to waste.